said that. I literally said that. I could stop the tape and go back to it and press play to the exact moment where you said that, and I was like, "You're right. You can't ascertain through that moment what the intention is." I literally said those words. But okay, so this coach. Stick with me. Stick with me. So the coach.
I can't.
So
because
the coach.
Stop talking about the coach.
No.
Because
wait, why? You didn't let me finish with Susie, and now the coach is gone. So the coach. So in this moment. So think about the. Okay, I'll make the comparison.
You're already wrong.
That's why they picked. That's the whole purpose.
I'm gonna keep throwing my hat. But this has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
But it does.
No, it doesn't. You talk in circles. This is very infuriating. You know what? Next time you complain about a fight with your wife, I'm gonna be like, I'm on her side. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. It has no bearing on anything in the world. No, it doesn't.
But it does.
It doesn't.
It does. I promise you it does.
You gotta fucking listen to me.
I am listening. I just disagree.
No.
I do disagree.
You haven't even let me finish my statement. Or what I'm saying.
That sounds like the end of the statement.
No, it doesn't. You actually just interrupted.
No. I said it sounded like it. I'm sorry. I perceived that wrong. It depends on what the goal is. So like, if your goal is,
I'm not giving you a goal. I'm giving you a statement.
But you're not. But you don't have to give me a goal.
What is the person?
I have a goal. I have a goal.
The goal is to bother me.
That's an intention that you intend.
Holy shit.
Or teachers in general. So no, that's not. I mean, it's just as absurd as assuming the intentionality is negative or non-existent.
We need to figure out the definition of words. Me and you always. No. It's over
not,
there.
But it's not all you need to know. It depends on what you want to do. It depends on what you want to do. Like,
that is a completely separate issue.
Okay, well, we could go back.
I don't want to go back.
So start off with the Sansa thing.
To stop talking.
Oh shit!
The people who pressed on with that American creed. Yes, we can.
Yes, together we will make America better.
Welcome to today's episode of Unintelligent Intellectuals. Yeah, today's episode, Unintelligent Intellectuals. Tune in. Thank you for listening, all 9 of you. Just jumped into it. There's a lot of shit going on. But I haven't looked into that wrestler that you mentioned, or I haven't seen the menu or the Northman, but or the speech, the Oxford guy. I was just like, but I have it all queued up, so okay. I'll get to it. I promise you. But yeah, I haven't done any of that stuff, so I'm not ready for that. but I know that I have a bad habit of just like or I guess a good habit.
His brother just wrestled last night.
Oh wow!
On the TNT or TBS, whoever was airing it, because it's all under the same parent company.
Okay. And
they had a little tribute.
Well, that's cool.
I think it's because there was a big backlash.
I'm fucking sure. Yeah, they're just like, oh, that's not what we stand for. But yeah, we'll see, man. But yeah, I'm gonna check into that. What's up?
I know it was an incoherent word.
Oh.
I think it meant to say ditto, but it.
Yeah, must. Yeah. But yeah, man. So I mean, there's I was gonna say I have a habit of focusing on one thing, just like diving in. So I'm gonna try to rifle through a couple things first before we start diving into some deep stuff.
I tried to do that.
I know, that's how I know is you're just like, yeah, we've been talking for like an hour. I think we could just. I was like, no, but like 3 more points, and I was like, oh, sorry. Yeah. But Black History Month's coming up, and right on time we have all these black issues. I don't know if this was planned by the man or what. Like, it's just oddly convenient. But and then of course the movies. But we'll hopefully be able to get into Emancipation, Black Panther. But yeah, I mean, first thing is DeSantis, like his whole thing down in Florida, trying to stop the AP African American history thing that's set up, and like the whole.
So he's just not approving the curriculum?
Yeah, it was a curriculum that's proposed by a college, because I mean it's an AP class, so it's like a college level class that's offered in a high school. So it was introduced through the by a college
Oh,
or by a
did you
university.
see that video of the guy that got caught undercover?
Nah. What happened?
Some guy was saying that he was putting CRT into a curriculum under a different name for kindergartners, and then he was laughing, and he was like the governor, like they don't even fucking check, so they don't even like review what.
Wow.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't expect them to actually review it.
Yeah, no.
Nobody reviews anything.
Yeah. I mean, people who are yelling.
They only review stuff when they have money to lose.
Yeah,
So if you're
yeah.
a bureaucrat, you just approve it.
Yeah.
That's why the government sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just responding to how people feel about certain things. So, yeah, it's not like, oh yeah, let's painstakingly like comb through every detail of the thing that we're about to say yes
That's
to.
why when we write bills, there's like 1,100 pages.
Yeah. We're like, oh, that's
But oddly, there's like only one reason why it's being written.
yeah. It's very strange. I mean, I know there's a lot of things. We require a lot of detail, but I mean, what does marriage equality have to do with building highways? You know, I'm not saying that it's not right or wrong. I'm just saying that one is not related to the other, and we should just all stand alone instead of playing this weird game. But
Americans are hurting. Why is there $15 million going to trans research in Pakistan?
it's just,
Eric,
yeah.
this pandemic is affecting everybody.
Yeah, no.
It's
like, fuck, man. Like, these things are unrelated. Like, we don't have to, like, just make clear up the convolution. Like, they make, I think they convoluted it on purpose, and for one reason or another. Like, they either think they could sneak it in, or they think that they could get it past in conjunction with it, because
nobody
it's something
cares.
they really care about.
It's not about sneaking. Just nobody cares.
It's wild, man. I fucking hate it. Because it makes things so much more complicated. The kind of shit that people are just like, oh, let me just tune out because this is unnecessary, or this is so. It would take me so much to understand what's happening or what's going on or what's they're even voting about or talking about.
Yeah.
I'd just rather not engage, and that's unfortunate, man. So, but yeah, with the whole DeSantis thing, is like when I looked into it, it's like they didn't publish any kind of the curriculum out for the public, but the reasons that DeSantis' camp said that they were against it is because of the contemporary stuff about Black Lives Matter and reparations type thing. But he's not against the teaching of Black history at all, or any facet of the history that he wants to change around. It's just
I honestly don't
strictly
understand how Black Lives Matter would even come into play.
And it's just
Because it's not a historical thing. It's something that's presently still
right
happening.
Yeah, the only way it could be like, okay, there's recent groups like this that are trying to fight for these things, but these are the things that have happened in the past that may have led them to the place where yeah. Like I could see it being like a facet where it's like, okay, well this is like a tie-in to understand why people are operating the way that they operate, but let's really dive into the actual meat and potatoes of the matter. Because I mean, there's a whole lot of Black history. I mean, even African American history, that to focus on that you wouldn't be able to cover all in. Like in one class is already long enough. Like to talk about contemporary issues is something else entirely. Like it would just be more. It would make sense, like critical race theory makes sense in a law classroom. Like contemporary issues would make sense in more of a college setting. But to introduce high school students to all of it, and especially since some people some people really like it and some people really hate it. I mean, to make it something that's offered in K through 12 education, which is which is paid by everybody, no matter your political leanings, then I think it's that's just a bad setup. It's just a bad setup. It wouldn't make sense in the beginning. So yeah, but I didn't look there wasn't too much more. Like there wasn't curriculum itself to look into. But shit, that was one thing, and we'll see if anything comes of that. If they release the curriculum itself, or if anyone like really starts to dive through the line by line, like, okay, this is what the issue is, or this is not what the issue is. Then there's something there. But
I don't think it has anything to do with that.
Yeah, you're right, man. I think it has everything to do with.
It's because
he's running.
No. Everything now is opened up into an individual's interpretation.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see.
And that's because, in my semi-professional opinion, people are stupid. People are not intelligent.
Yeah. I can see your perspective.
No one knows what's going on.
Yeah.
You've been through a school system just like I have.
Yeah.
Those teachers don't know anything.
Ignorant.
No, they don't know anything. They're not seeking to know anything. They don't know anything. They just have opinions and whatever general knowledge of the subject of what they're teaching.
Damn, that's a harsh critique.
I mean, how many teachers do you know growing up that like studied FBI released, documents?
Yeah, and when it comes
and
to
CIA released documents,
Yeah.
like they're not looking this up.
and that's why
They're getting off work.
Yeah.
They're going to the grocery store, getting a mixed green salad, box and some
Right.
proteins and they've got these new the pita chips.
Yeah, they're not worried.
They're not fucking.
They're not concerned
They're not
or
picking up and
we shouldn't say
reading
concerned.
front to back the Wall Street Journal.
Yeah, they're not.
They don't know what's going
they're not
on.
aware about shit that's happening in the current era. Like they know stuff, like their subject and like stuff, but when it comes to current events, is kind of what you're talking about, right? Them knowing how to navigate the current events thing.
Well, no, it's not even current event. I mean, honestly, how many people would you entrust to teach children morality? And what morality is and what it means
No.
from just a psychological standpoint. There's nobody. In the general theory, there's no one that can teach that because there's just so few people that have the ability to teach that.
I mean, where I stand when it comes to education is I really wish that I could find a way to make money. Subscribing, I'm
taking from an abstract thought.
Yeah, but
like it's one thing to talk about who Martin Luther King was and what he meant, and it's another to educate somebody on the black experience.
No. I know what you're saying, but I mean, I'm saying ideally
how many people could actually ethically talk about that to a group of students?
Yeah.
There's very few people.
They're out there, but there's very few.
Where you're maybe saying too much or too little, and let's find a sweet spot.
Yeah.
And then you're taking your emotion out of it for whatever your lived experiences are. The amount of people that can do that are very few.
No,
so that's why
very true.
To entrust a state to have people just talk about things that could potentially be that are up for their own interpretation of what it is just absolutely absurd.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Outside of a high school advanced level and up.
Well, yeah, I agree with that because the way that things are taught isn't I wish.
No, they're just not capable of doing it.
Yeah, well, I wish. Well, let me backtrack. My view on education, I want to find a way to make money in order to because I want to be at home and I want to teach my kids. I want to be able to go through different things and the things that I teach my kids when I'm not at work, is for how to learn. It's more so okay, you know how to read. Boom. I want you to look this stuff up. I want you to understand this. I want to expand their mind, make them understand different things, and then that way it's they have the capacity to learn, to go into articles about supporting Black Lives Matter or articles counter to Black Lives Matter and be able to see things from both perspectives and even other perspectives and paint this holistic picture.
Okay.
I don't think and I haven't experienced that happening in K through 12 education, and I think that's what
I was going to say that's more of a parent's job than
I and it's kind of weird where it's where does the parent like parenting start and stop, and versus where the education starts and stop. I think that's education in general, where it's like, okay, I want to teach you how to learn. That should be what education is. I'm gonna teach you how to learn, and we're gonna dive into these specific things and these core things. I think it should be.
You think
it should be? It should be.
What have we learned about that? I feel and I think.
No, well, because that's how I think. That's how I feel. That's why I want to do that for my kids. But that's how I generally, and I think other people should. I think most people
do not do that.
Yeah, most people don't do that.
Most people fall into whatever ideology they have.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem. It's not that
your mindset is an ideology.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Like I ideologically want everybody to understand each other. Yeah. So that is like a...
No, I mean how you perceive things.
Yeah, for sure. I know I have my biases.
That's for sure. You might have your biases. Your biases might, on average, be more right because of how like your experiences are and how you then approach things.
Yeah.
You kind of you've already shifted through the bullshit, so you already have your bias, which then maybe at times doesn't allow you to be opened up to certain critiques, but more often than not, you're probably, hitting the nail on the head.
Yeah, as far as I know, like I'm just open to be like, okay, this is what I know. This is what I think, and then it's like.
Well, the difference is your ideology allows you to be open to change,
right?
Regardless of how stubborn you may be on it.
Yeah,
it's at least. You can easily, it might take a couple of years, but you're not going to be like stoned like this isn't changing.
Right. Because I think
it's going to be 6 months down the road. You're going to be like, I probably could ease up on
this. It's like you know me or something.
We're like, well, because we're both similar in that. We're open up to that change. Right. But then most people don't have that.
Yeah.
Most people, their ideology is like on one side or the other.
Right. And I think because of that,
and then to expect them to try and educate kids with anything other than just 2 + 2 = 4.
Yeah.
Is astoundingly dangerous.
Yeah. All right, let me get you more of the shot.
Because like people will believe teachers.
Yeah, that's problematic, man, and exactly because of the reason that you outlined. It's like people.
I mean, you're better off having a boring teacher who barely gives a shit, who just reads out of the book, than you are having a teacher that
super passionate.
That is just an idiot. Is an idiot.
Super passionate. Very ideological.
No, that's an idiot that is like pushing. Well, even if you are super passionate, you're an idiot if you think you should just go into a classroom and then push that idea. If I was a big Catholic and I was taught at a public school, I would be an absolute fucking moron if I went in there and be like, well, today we're praying the rosary.
Yeah.
You'd look at me and be like, why did you think that was even remotely okay?
Yeah. Like you're pushing what you want. It's like
you're also at a public school where like you can't really do that. Like, what do you do? You deserved to be fired.
Yeah, and I think there's some people don't know where that line is. Like people don't know that's not okay, or people point that out as like, hey, that's wrong. But then when they look at Black Lives Matter or like reparations or they'll look at that as oh no, but this is right. This is stuff that's not being taught, and anything that's fighting against that is like proof that they're trying to hide their history.
No, it's self-righteous bullshit.
Yeah, I said that in a nicer way. Pretty much. But yeah, it's a big problem, man. And unfortunately, I don't think they're aware of it themselves, is what I'm saying.
Well, teaching is just inefficient in America anyway.
Yeah, the way it's said, I think we need better incentive structures for.
Yeah, there's no reason why you should ever be a teacher.
Like, I love the idea of teaching.
Kids suck. I parents are even worse.
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah.
So kids suck. Parents are even worse. Depending on where you're living, you're probably not getting paid that much, or at least
I don't know how to word it, but like,
yeah, you're not
being a teacher is like doing what we do.
Yeah.
That would be like the easiest scale to economic growth.
No, it's true, man. Yeah.
Like, it's not bad.
Yeah.
You could live off it, but it's like a
lot. That's it.
There's you could do better.
Like, oh, that's why they have OnlyFans accounts, you know. But yeah, man. I think.
And plus, it used to be just moms.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
It used to be moms that were like, well, I'd like to do something during the day.
Yeah.
And make a little money.
Preoccupy myself.
So they cared about kids.
Yeah. I mean, and I think it's traditionally a role in the female, especially in the hunter-gatherer society.
Yeah, but women are
guys out there. Yeah, but it's like, but I think they're
like,
they're
how
like
many women were teaching that were single?
Yeah, I don't know.
When you were like a kid.
Know. Yeah, no, I don't. I'm thinking back to when I was a kid. I'm like,
every now and then you would get one that was over like 35 or 40. Yeah, and then you get a couple ones that are coming out of college.
Yeah, in high school, I had a few teachers that were fresh out of college, but I don't.
But for the most part, they were all married.
Yeah.
I would love to see what the statistics are right now.
Wow, that's alarming. Yeah, that's scary.
I'm guessing it's higher.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So now you have people. Now you have people that don't have families.
Yeah.
Because if you had a kid, you would probably understand more. It's like, oh, like,
right.
It's a very precious thing their mind is, and like,
wow. So it's like, now I didn't really think about that, but so teachers are probably more, because of that dynamic. Like, a lot of them are married, and they probably have less real world experience or less of an understanding on the significance of teaching and the significance of
treat them as their own kids.
Yeah.
Man. That's why they have this obligation to educate.
Yeah.
Whereas if you were another parent, you're like, all I have to do is watch this motherfucker.
Hey, don't bash your head.
Are they doing their homework? Okay, they're not fighting. They're not disrupting the class. This was a great day.
Yeah.
Not, oh, I got to teach them something.
Yeah. They're not going to necessarily be excited about
unless it was a kid who like wasn't really giving a shit and then started to give a shit, and then you're like, oh, I'm proud of their growth. Like,
yeah. So I mean, I think we need, so like teachers need to, like, I guess we could outline what it is. Like, teachers need to want the kids to learn, and they have to teach them to look at things from different perspectives.
Our society's crumbling.
So it's like, unfortunately, there's no incentive structure to really facilitate that. There's even like
I'm just saying that's probably an issue.
Yeah, no, 100%. I hear what you're saying. And I never thought about it from that dynamic, but since you mentioned it, I'm like rifling through my head, like, oh,
most of your teachers growing up were women.
Yeah.
And they were married.
Yeah.
And had kids.
Yeah. So it's like, so they know what it takes. Like, okay, well, this, I have to, like you said, I have to mold them this way, or not. I have to mold them in this direction or not. But just like, I have to facilitate.
No, you don't give a fuck about molding them.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
What I mean
is that, like, you're just like, okay, I've had my kids. My kids have had friends over. I don't give a fuck about what my kids' friends think. Did somebody choke?
Yeah, no.
Did they fall? Like, you're more just concerned about like the overall, like, generalized well-being.
Okay. Yeah.
So you don't give a fuck about whether or not their parents are voting for George Bush.
Yeah. No, I chose the wrong word.
Gap because they're over at your house.
I hear you. I mean, I chose the wrong word when I meant molding. I meant like not molding into like this kind of ideology. I meant molding into a better person. Like
They didn't even care about that, dude.
Well, I
nobody molded us into be better people. You might have had like a very nice person who was a teacher.
I don't know. I think my teachers will try to mold me into a better person. Or maybe I'm just super optimistic. I assume.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, like,
do you mean like some kid punched you in the face and they were like,
well, no, like,
or were they like, don't do that, you shouldn't hurt other people?
No, like, okay, like, I grew up in Chicago, so like there was one time where like there was a kid who was messing with me and I didn't like it, and then I told the teacher, and the teacher was like, "Oh, what do you do?" He's like, "Oh, you hit me." He's like, "Oh yeah." She's like, "Get over here, dude," and she came over here, and then and then she was like, "Oh, you hit him?" And he was like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Okay," and then she looks at me, she's like, "Hit him back." And I was like,
that probably wasn't the best advice.
But she was like, hit him back. But she wanted me to stand up. She wanted me to stand up for myself. And two, she wanted the other kid to understand that if you do something to somebody, that it might come back around to you. So that was like what she was trying to.
But that's not molding you.
Okay.
That's
so then.
That's a moment where things are being rectified.
Okay.
I feel like if you piss off your dad and your dad's like, has that like angry sit down conversation with you because you said something like disrespectful to your mom or something like that.
Yeah.
That's a learning, teaching moment.
Yeah.
That's not molding who you are as a human being.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like maybe I'm using the word like when I mean like molding into a better person.
Molding is something that is actively being done to create a person.
Yeah.
She wasn't trying to create you.
No, I think she was trying to create like the behavior type. She wants. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, like it's molding is a mindset.
Right, and that's why I was like, let me look for a different word.
What she did was a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
It's a reaction to a singular moment, not a invested day-to-day shaping of you.
No, but day-to-day, I think.
But that's a mold.
Okay.
Was day-to-day she doing that?
No, I mean, day like people weren't attacking each other, but she was like, I'd like to think that like teachers are like especially her. She was trying to be like, hey, I want you to do these things, and so then you become this kind of person when you're older. So
you're putting too much weight into it. That's what I'm telling you.
Into teaching or
no, into what she was doing.
Okay. Maybe.
Regardless of what you think she is doing.
And that's what I'm saying. Maybe I'm being optimistic.
Gravity into it of like what she was trying to do.
Okay.
Meaning somebody who's trying to teach your kid in kindergarten about critical race theory is a vested weight to it.
Mm.
As opposed to somebody who's trying to teach conflict resolutions in the middle of when it's happening.
Yeah. But I feel like the one that...
If some kid steals a candy bar and you're like, you know what, you're going to get a detention. You're not molding them. But if every day you're like, you know what, stealing isn't very good. And I'm going to have hour lectures about how it's taking property from other people. That's molding somebody.
Yeah, but I think they're both...
They don't know. They don't have enough weight.
But I think it does.
How many people have done conflict resolutions with children?
A lot of people do conflict resolution, but
their entire being of their interaction with you isn't about molding how you deal with that.
I think it is. So how do you define?
What the fuck are you talking about?
So check this out. So the reason why there's conflict resolution is, I mean, one, so the kids aren't like it isn't a madhouse, but two,
meaning she doesn't walk out of her house going, by God, every time I see it today, it's happening.
Huh? Like what's happening?
Anything.
No, but like this is what I. So
she literally is existing and then reacting to things that are happening based off her moral code. There's no weight to her actions at all.
But her moral code could be to mold kids into being better human beings. Like, I mean, that's the whole thing of teach. Like, I see. Okay, so look, we'll isolate these two things. So the professional teaching is like, all right, you show up, here's the curriculum, feed this shit to the class.
No, sometimes just being a good person.
Yeah. So
stopping bullying I'm trying
to separate these things. So
no, because there are some people whose existence is going to be to stop bullying. There are others who, even if they do it every hour, every hour that they're around, they're doing it.
Yeah,
that's not what they are trying to do.
But okay, but we're speaking to the intentionality of a person. But
molding somebody is with the intention of doing it.
Right.
You are trying to mold your sons.
Yeah.
A teacher who's existing
and sees something bad happening and then stops it, that doesn't mean that that's her goal in life.
Okay, agreed. I'm not saying.
But molding is a concerted effort to do something.
Right. It's all about intentionality.
Yeah.
So like,
her intention is not to do that. Probably.
No, okay, but my thing is like, I'm not. You can't ascertain the intention through a
molding
singular
is like
action.
a mentor.
Right, but you can't.
Or someone trying to be a mentor.
I'm agreeing with you that you can't identify the intentionality of a person through a single action. But what I'm saying to you, like, I'm optimistic about what the intentionality is behind, like, my teachers and certain actions, or teachers in general.
Absurd.
So no, that's not. I mean, it's just as absurd as assuming the intentionality is negative or non-existent. I mean,
because that's not just the law of averages.
Okay.
It's likely that the person was just a halfway decent human being that, wanted to help the kids when things go wrong.
Yeah, but being a halfway that's an intention. You intend.
Holy shit!
What do you mean? You intend when you want to be a good person. You intend to be a good person, and when you're a good person, you want and you.
It's not molding.
Acting, when you're a good person,
we need to figure out the definition of words. Because me and you always
get hung up on these. Yeah. No, but so like when you get stuck if you intend to be a good person, for you morally being a good person means not just doing the right things, but when you see someone doing the wrong things, then you correct them, especially if they're a younger kid. Like, I mean, if it's like an adult, like someone's like, give me your money. It's like, all right, I won't correct that. I won't correct that person. Yeah. So I think average people correct. Average people
But that's
mold.
what human beings do.
Yeah, so I think, and what that is, what I would call that is molding. I believe human beings are mold each other.
No.
Yeah.
You're misusing the word.
Maybe, and that's why
you're 100% using the exact wrong word.
Well, that's why I began by saying, I was like, oh, maybe I'll use a different word. That's why I was like, oh, let me use a different word.
Because you keep going back to molding, and I'm like, that's not molding.
Well, that's why the
molding
first thing
is like
I was trying to explain what I meant
molding
by
is
it.
like your baseball coach who sees that maybe your dad's not around that much, so then he takes a more concerted effort into helping be a role model to you.
Yeah, but
and someone to look up to. That's someone who's molding.
But that seems to me the same thing as if he he might just be a good
because
person
he identifies it and is going above and beyond.
But I don't think you have to go above and beyond in order for it to be considered molding. I think you could just a small interaction with a stranger could be. The whole point of molding
is literally you going out of your way to do so.
No, I don't think so. I don't think
it is.
No.
Teachers who are teaching kids to be non-binary.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
They're molding them
with a concerted effort.
Yeah,
they're not casually doing it.
Yeah, but whether it's casual or so the intentionality.
The whole point of the molding.
So
I can't mold a pot out of clay without putting my fucking hands on it.
Right.
But if I just every cup 5 seconds a day I go, ooh, I'm not molding it.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
Well, what am I molding it into?
I mean, whatever you're trying to mold it into.
I'm not trying to do anything. That's the whole point.
Yeah, but that's what we're talking about. It's about the intentionality. So, let's say someone intends.
You're talking in circles.
No, I'm not. I promise you. So, let's say someone.
I promise you.
let's say one of us is gonna break our promise.
What are you talking about?
Okay, so let's say. Okay, so look at this. So someone wakes up in the morning.
Molding and intentionality. Wait.
Someone wakes up in the morning. So we just said that. We just said molding is all about intentionality. So let's say someone wakes up. They're 400 pounds. They decide, I'm gonna lose this weight. That is their intention, and then they go to a gym and they work out for 5 minutes. They're like, fuck that, and then they go home and eat a pizza.
Okay.
They're still trying to mold themselves into. Not. Yeah, they are. They are. They had
5 minutes of workout and then they eat a pizza. No, it's counterproductive and they're not committed.
It is counterproductive.
And they can't mold themselves.
No, it is counterproductive, and that does show a lack of commitment. But that was their intention. Their intention was to go there to lose 250 pounds. So they intended to do that. They failed to do that. Now they said, oh, fuck it, I'm tired. I'm gonna go home and eat a pizza, but I'll be back tomorrow. That's their intention. Now, their actions are counterproductive, but their intentionality still remains. So that's why I said you can't look at the moments, you can't look at the activity and try to determine the intentionality. So that person might intend to do this, but they end up doing something counterproductive. Now, they show up the next day, and like they're still intending to do this. And then they're like, okay, instead of buying a pizza, they'll get a sandwich. Or they don't understand the counterproductiveness of buying that pizza. So they think, oh, well, I'm going to the gym every day.
No, they know.
Well, I mean, some people, you'll be surprised. Some people just think, oh, if I work out for 10, 30 minutes, I'll be able to eat whatever I want. Or if I just do intermittent fasting, I'll be able to eat whatever I want. Some people just have that kind of mentality where it's like, okay, I'm going to do whatever. If I have the intention
to
of doing
mold
this.
someone or something means to change or influence them over a period of time so that they develop in a particular way.
Yeah. So this about the intentionality of doing so. So for instance, over a period of time,
but that's not their intention.
But you can't determine. I'm just saying you can't determine it based off of it. That's all I'm saying.
The average person does not go out with the intention of doing things. They just do. Hey, what are you doing? Don't do that.
Yeah, but
you can't do that. All right, that's not good. You're going to get someone hurt.
Yeah, because
someone's not walking out of their house going, I can't wait to talk to a kid like that today.
I mean, but some people might.
And I can't they're a pedophile because they're going out of the way trying to engage in conversation with children.
A teacher, or that person's a teacher. I got to talk to a kid today, like a specific kid in their class, or I wanted to make a difference in one kid's life, like, and they go out there, and so I'm saying
that is the most idealistic thing I've ever heard.
Maybe, and I started off with that premise. I was like, maybe I'm being optimistic.
And how many people are idealistic?
Not a lot. So I could subscribe to that. I can subscribe that I'm in the minority when it comes to
So you're essentially agreeing with what I said.
No. There's parts that I agree with and parts that I disagree. The part that I agree with is the whole me being idealistic about
it's a concerted effort to do so.
Right.
You're talking about casual interaction.
No, I'm saying that. So, like you just read.
So, like, a good person isn't a good like.
Wait. Okay. So let's
really don't. I fucking hate it when we go down this. We go down your routes. Okay.
So I'm saying, if someone's intentionality can't be determined through an action, right? So
yes, it can.
No. You could.
Yes, it can.
No, it can't. You could guesstimate, but you can't.
You can tell by like looking at somebody how they interact, what they do.
But you can't measure someone's intention off of doing that. If you did,
you can.
If you did,
you're around them enough.
Okay, but there's a lot of factors that go into it. If you're around them enough, you'll be able to predict it better.
So the teacher that's around them for like 8 hours a day.
Yeah, you could be able to predict it better, but you can't know.
You do know.
No, that's not. If that was true,
you can never figure it out.
No, you can never know. You can guess, you can predict, you can take measures to safeguard against the bad possibility when you think it's there, but you can't know. If you could know, then no bad thing would ever happen because we could just set good people out there and just look at certain situations for a certain amount of time and be like, this is going to happen. You can't know. You can predict.
And so you're going to tell me if I'm around somebody for 4 years, I have no idea on how they perceive or think.
I didn't say you have no idea. What I said is that you don't. No.
So there's nobody you know.
I said
there's nobody that you've met that you
One
know.
Question at a time. One question at a time. Why are you trying to? No, like,
so there's nobody you've known or worked with for years that you know.
No, I could know a person, but I don't know the intentionality of everything. Like I can guess.
So there's no one you know that is maybe just a little simple-minded, or maybe very introspective.
So, like, based off of what I can see off this person is like this. But I'm talking. You're talking about character traits. We're talking about intentionality. I'm saying that you can't determine the intentionality of a person. You could predict what it is. You could think about. You could utilize. Okay, these things added together. I think this is what this person's intentionality is.
Because not everybody is that in depth.
Some people are very surface level.
Which is true, but I'm not denying
you
that.
can pick up on and understand that they're surface level. There's not too much depth to who they are.
I'm not saying
they live
I'm not
simple
saying that.
lives. They're not that introspective.
Yeah, and I'm
so
not.
you
I'm
can't
not disagreeing with
figure
that.
out what they're.
No. What I'm saying is that it's you can't know whether or not
you can.
Nah, I'm saying
I can.
You have a superpower that I.
It's not a superpower. I just can observe.
Okay, well, maybe I can't. But when you look
know
at,
you know.
What is that? I don't look. Okay, so I don't say that I know. I can say based off of what
I'm
I've
not saying
seen.
everybody you interact with.
Yeah. Okay.
But there's a good amount of people that you can interact with over a period of months, years.
Yeah.
And figure out what they're about. How they think, how they perceive things,
Right.
how they interact and what they do on a day-to-day basis.
Right, but even at that point, it's still, I don't see it as like, oh, I know this person 100% because I've done that before and I was like, oh, I know what this person's all about. And then they turn around, they do something uncharacteristically like them. I'm like, oh, that's not like them. And I was like, wait a minute. Well, I never knew how this person acted like in this scenario. So I don't really know everything about them. I just know them for the interaction that I have with them.
You have a general consensus.
Yeah, I can say general consensus, which is a guess.
So
a prediction.
outside of an irregularity of behavior, your teacher that you said was very good.
Yeah.
Was she married?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she catches her husband face fucking her sister.
Mm.
You don't think the next day in class she might have some irregular behavior?
No, I don't think she's gonna be there next year. I think one. Yeah. Yo, this lady's
I'm saying in a situation like that, you're gonna see irregular behavior. So that irregular behavior means absolutely nothing.
No, I didn't say that.
I'm saying it means absolutely nothing.
Why?
Because it's irregular.
What? Wait, what
Something
do you mean?
outside of her control drove her to react in a way that is not normal to her.
Yeah.
Which means it doesn't. You still know who the fuck she is.
Yeah, but
you just now know what might happen when her fucking world crashes down around her.
Which is true. But there's also this. So you
can know.
No. But like I know what my perception of this person is because I see her in a classroom setting. But short of. I forgot where I left off, but
now we're on back to being able to read people or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not saying you can't have an idea or don't understand based off of the culmination that you've been able to.
I'm not saying everybody you come into contact with. I'm just saying we both know people mutually that we pretty much know everything on who they are as a person.
Well,
at least on how they do things and interact in the world. Of how we see how they interact does not change when they go home. That's what I'm saying.
Well, this is the way that I look at it.
Based off of the couple people that we mentioned.
Right. But
I'm using those because they're more glaring
examples of what you're trying to. Yeah. No,
I
hear what you're saying. I understand where you're coming from.
How people are, because most people aren't in depth.
Right. So
most people, you mentioned Kamala Harris and you look up your leg and make a fart noise, and the next thing you know, they're in tears because of what you've done. Like, some people are just very. What you see is what you get, and it ain't much deeper than that.
Right, but let me.
Whereas someone like you, who knows what's going on?
I might cry.
But God damn it.
No, sorry.
I mean, depending on the topic, you're either going to be really open-minded and listening because you really don't know anything about it, and you don't see a reason to have an opinion.
Right.
But it could be something that you really, really care about, and you put the time and energy, and you've maybe even read books about it, and you're going to be like, "Well, wait a minute," or you're going to be really excited because they have an idea or an interest in something that you know a lot about.
Yeah.
And then boom, there you're going. And then there are other people where it's just like, well, today's kind of, it's not bad, and you can just tell that, I mean, there's nothing going on. They just haven't felt the drive to pursue things outside of what they know and they have.
Right.
Based off of whatever circumstances they grew up with and everything like that. And there's just not a lot going on.
Yeah.
They're not even necessarily stupid. They just don't have a desire to be anything more
else.
than what they are. That's what I'm saying. You can know them and perceive that there are some people that act good that we may know that they really are trying to do that every day. Every day, that's how they're trying to live, where they're trying to do good works and acts for people, and they're trying to be nice and supportive because they just have a positive outlook on life and they want to help other people. And then there are other people that you know that they're not bad people, but whenever they do something nice for you, there's
kind of like...
Well, no, there's not a reason behind it. It's just like somebody holding the door open for you. Some people hold the door open for you because they actually want to hold the door open for you, and some people are like, "Oh, hey man," because it's just common courtesy, and that's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
That doesn't mean.
So that's pretty much what you're talking about.
That's what I'm talking.
Sorry, I should have used that example.
No, I hear what you're saying.
I should have done the door open.
I hear what you're saying. I understand.
Some people hold the door open because that's what's expected of them, and that's what you should do.
Okay.
And some people hold that door open with a big smile. They're like, no, come on in. I love doing this because I do nice things for people.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
And I hear you, but...
That would be more of a molding. It's because they're going out with that conservative effort to do these things. Whereas other people just do good things because that's how they were trained to do, and that's just how they are, and there's no depth to it, and they don't even give a shit.
Right. No, so I understand that, but like this is the way that I see things. Probably shed a little bit of light on the way that I perceive things, so then maybe what I'm saying makes more sense. I don't think that you could I think there's people who can, the same way there's people who have different varying depths or passions about certain things. And some people are just dispassionate about it and everything and just going through the emotions. I think there's people who are really, really good at perceiving people and perceiving things, and there's some people who aren't. And like I think everybody's on a spectrum. But regardless, I don't think, and I'm sure there's some people who are at 0. I don't think there's anybody who's at 100. I don't think that anybody can 100% like perceive everything around them. So, or just even certain things. People. Maybe. I have my doubts. That's all I'm saying. So, what I'm saying with that
I'm saying I'm at 95%.
Okay.
I'll give you a margin of error based off of some type of potential peculiar thing that might happen.
Yeah, and hey, I'm willing to say 99%. I think you're really good at analyzing people. What I'm saying is
more often than not, I'm gonna.
Yeah, you peg it. So like I'm not questioning.
Now,
I'm not questioning
that.
That
being said, there are people that I can't read.
Yeah. And so you're not, and you. I think you left room for that caveat when you said not everybody,
I'm
but
saying
of the very specific.
There are people out there that just, for whatever reason, based off my life or what I know, I get it. And that's honestly from being burned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you get burned from like, oh wow, this person's great, and you're like, oh my god.
Right, and see, and that's
nothing even did anything to me, but it was oh, this is
right.
I can't talk to this person.
And I think that's where I'm coming at when I look at okay, well, I never know. Like I think I know. Like I've known this person for X amount. Like we've been pals since high school. I've seen this. I've been to their marriage. I've been to their marriage. I've been to their wedding. I've seen their kids. You know, my kids play with their kids. You know, like I might have a thing like, oh, I think I know this person, but part of me is like, I might not, because of that whole seen stuff pop off, seeing things like, oh, people change, and so I'm just like,
that's funny.
You know what? So I might not be
hesitant to commit.
Well,
I'm like, I'm never gonna deal with this again. So I'm gonna make sure I know everything about this person.
See, I'm comfortable with the fact that I can't know somebody 100%. I'm like, and I don't think I'm as good at perceiving people as you are.
Well, that's just because you're more optimistic.
So, yeah. So
you leave
intentional blindness.
Well, no, you leave room for bad, but also you leave room for good.
Yeah. But because of that, or maybe combination of that and
honestly,
not
we get into these rants, but you just don't feel comfortable taking a stand like that. Whereas I'm
that's
like,
100%.
I'm like, I could give two shits.
I don't want to be like, because I've seen how harmful that could be also, where it's like, oh, well, this is that kind of person. Like, especially in the school setting, where like, you're that kind of kid. I'm like, all right. So like, that's not, I don't see that being helpful, because then that kid either is fighting constantly against or reaffirming that perception of themselves.
Well, no, but you're not actually reading that kid correctly. Because there's some, depending on age.
Yeah.
But more often than not, when there is some type of behavioral issue with the kid, I mean, it can be in their own brain.
Yeah.
But a lot of that comes from like their home environment or
100%.
their environment from where they're from. So if you're like, oh, you're that kid, you're actually not looking at what the problem actually is.
Yeah.
So you're actually not knowing them.
Yeah.
You're making a misjudgment and incorrectly dealing with the issue.
And that's why I don't like because I don't know, the people that we mentioned, I don't know their particular circumstance of how they were brought up and what they were exposed to and why they're acting the way that they're acting. So
undiagnosed.
So I'm hesitant to be like, that's that kind of person and that's that kind of person. I'm willing to be like, okay, based off of what I see, that's that kind of person, but I really don't know.
I don't put them into a type.
Okay.
Unless they actually fit a type.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I can know them.
Yeah. I'm just,
because certain people are just so, there's such a character that there is nobody else like them but them.
Yeah.
And then there are also people that are just simple.
Yeah.
And then it's like, you're literally a character from the movie Fargo. Where it's just that housewife that's just like, wow, what can you do?
Yeah. But no, I'm willing to say that's funny. I'm willing to say I know that person enough to know that in this scenario I wouldn't I can make determinations based off of what I think.
I don't know what decisions they're gonna make. I'm just saying
No, but
I have a general idea of who they are and how they think.
This is I'm going to interact with this person this way. I'm going to interact with this person that way, or I won't deal with this person because of that reason.
Well, but I can do that. I'm a psycho.
Yeah. Well, I'll do that.
I don't even know who I am.
But I'm saying
I'm constantly trying to fit into different groups, and I don't even know who I am as a person.
Yeah, amalgamation of all of it. I like all this shit. Like I don't care
Gary
what people say. Yeah, there you go.
I remember he said in an interview, and he's like, I had to get retrained on how to get my accent back because I've done so many different accents.
Who am I? He was that scene in Tropic Thunder was about him.
I'm pretty sure he actually had to get some voice lessons to get his natural accent back because he had been pulling himself in so many different ways that he lost.
Does something to you. Yeah. No, but all I'm saying is speaking to the intentionality, because I could, based off what I perceive, I could be like, okay, this person, based on what I see, this is what this person is. I know them well enough to know this, but I don't say that I know the person because I know that there's nobody, even my wife, I don't know 100%. So I'm comfortable with that. And also I like being optimistic. So I like thinking that the unknown part might be this. Yeah, but I'm comfortable or understanding that the unknown part might be negative. So I get that, but that's why I'm just hesitant to say, oh, I know this. So that's why with the whole intentionality of teachers, I can't speak on the intentionality of teachers. So I mean, maybe they're holding the door because they think this is what's socially acceptable. Maybe they're teaching the kids because they think it's they want to mold them. Maybe they're teaching the kids because they want to they just want to be a good person. Maybe it's because it's the most convenient job that was available to them at the time. Or maybe their parents would teach, they have this deep-rooted reason. I don't know. I'm just saying, instead of speaking to the intentionality of teachers, I'll speak to
you have a tendency to put weight on things.
Yes, and that is very true. And
whether
100%.
It's positive or negative or just
I try to dive deep into everything. It's like, wow, that person said this. Maybe that's the thing that we're talking about.
Weight, and that's what I was trying to initially get at you about. Where I harped on the molding. It's
okay.
Just because someone is doing something doesn't mean there's
this intentionality.
There's layers behind their method on why they're doing it.
You're right. So I could see to that.
Like how many moms
this moment
do you know
doesn't...
will be like, yo, knock it the fuck off. Like,
yeah.
They're not
Intentionally
trying to make you a better person. They're just like, look, you're misbehaving and I'm telling you to be quiet.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. Like,
it's a reaction.
Yeah,
it's not a mindset.
Right. But what I'm saying is that we can't really speak on what the intentionality is. Like, I hear what you're saying. Like, they're reacting to the situation and they're just going in and they're trying to do these things.
Because the average person doesn't have much intention behind it.
And you might be right.
I am right.
But because
as a society, we're majority of us are walking around with intention.
Mm-hmm.
Things would be better.
It would.
We wouldn't be as angry. We wouldn't be in this like mess of the society.
You could intend to be angry. Like, I intend to kill this person. Why not be as productive?
Or culture would be better.
Okay.
We wouldn't be sexualizing children.
I think it's different. I think
probably intentional.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I think they intended. I think they intended for some of those things to happen. But I don't think the problem is the lack of intentionality. I think it's more so a lack of proper incentives. I think the incentive structure is not geared in such a way that encourages the kind of behavior that most people want. I think it's just...
We're definitely going all over the place.
Yeah. But I think...
This literally started with me just talking.
This was supposed to be a throwaway. Only 5 minutes. No, but it's like... Because I'm optimistic about what most people moving around with purpose. But I'm very aware that I might be wrong when it comes to that. But what I'm saying when it comes to teaching, maybe they're not intentional in terms of how they're reacting to kids, but maybe they are. But despite where they fall on that, which is what molding is, which I'm trying to get away from that word, influence. They will influence one way or the other. Either if it's non-committal, non-intentional, or just reactionary in that moment. I think
influencing and molding are different.
Right. But what I was trying to get at was, I think influencing is a better word for it. I think teachers, the interaction that they have with the kids, with their students, influences them one way or another.
You're missing it.
Now
you got it.
Yeah, no, that's essentially what I was trying to say.
I'm saying
and then we got
the crazy teacher on TikTok that is talking to is so excited that she has like 8 different flags of gender or something like that. And all that shit. That's someone who's molding children.
Right.
The teacher that you had that was just like, hey, we're gonna have some conflict resolution, was just like, I'm going to stop bad things from happening and try and have good things.
Well,
she doesn't have an ideology behind it.
No, that was one moment, but like I've interacted with her even far, like when I was way past that grade, and it's like she has...
But someone trying to be a positive influence is not trying to mold society.
But I think they are. They're not. Like if you have, and like let's say the teacher I'm talking about has the intentionality.
Stop saying that word.
What? Intention? Let's play a hypothetical. Let's say hypothetically, she has the intentionality of trying to influence kids to be, to stand up for themselves and to understand that bad shit's gonna happen to you also. If you do bad things.
It's just somebody who wants to give life lessons.
But that's molding. The life lesson, like I give my kids life lessons, and because I'm trying to mold them. Yeah. But the same way I'm saying, teachers can also mold. Like I'll interact with a kid. I'm just be like, I'm hoping that they understand these things, so then they grow up into better, more understanding people. So it's not that all teachers are.
God damn you!
I'm just saying it's possible.
I thought we were getting. So
we are. I'm just saying
no,
that we are. I think we are.
Backtracking.
But I'm not backtracking. I'm saying like I'm agreeing with you that I use the wrong word when it comes to molding.
You just doubled down back on the molding.
Okay, listen. I'm conceding.
Did it.
I'm conceding that I used the wrong word when it came to molding because that now it,
But
that
you did
became,
it again.
No, okay, hold on. We were having a conversation about teachers and this whole DeSantis thing. Then we moved into their impact on the kids.
A teacher trying to be a positive influence.
Impact on the kids. And then I used the word molding, and then we got into a conversation about intentionality. So
molding
we went to talking about the intentionality of different people.
Molding is trying to make people.
Yeah, so the intention behind somebody can't be ascertained, and we talked about the difference about how you look at things. It can't. You could guess it, but it can't be.
It can.
Okay, so you think it can because you're 99% good at perceiving things. I'm just saying that I'm willing to have that understanding. The 1%.
Stop talking.
Wait. I want.
You're gonna stop talking.
Okay. Well, but we're gonna have to circle back. You're gonna think I'm doubling down, but I'm not. I'm trying to.
If a teacher doesn't allow any football apparel outside of the Philadelphia Eagles,
right?
That's a conservative effort to do that.
You're right.
So I know that.
Right. You could
know that.
You could know in that moment.
If he or she is just like, I really like the Eagles, and after a win on Monday, I like to wear my Eagles jersey, and I'm like, she's molding them. I'm an idiot.
No. I don't think
because she's not.
Well,
he or she is not.
Right.
They're just showing pride for their team.
Right.
Whereas the other one is a weird conservative, I keep saying conservative.
Yeah.
A weird effort to push the Eagles on the kids.
Yeah.
You can only wear it if it's the Eagle.
Right.
So now, the kids want to wear something that's not the uniform or whatever, so I'll wear the Eagles stuff.
Yeah.
That's weird. You're manipulating and molding these kids to be maybe Eagles fans.
Right. But in that
somebody who does nice acts or tries to teach lessons isn't necessarily trying to mold people.
But you're right. Isn't necessarily trying to mold, but they might be trying to mold people.
You can pick up on that.
No.
Jesus Christ.
You could.
You're.
Some people are good at picking up at it. This is where you get stubborn,
and this is why you get angry. You're thinking about it through your head.
Right, 100%. I'm not thinking through someone else's head.
30 you're not 30.
I'm 32.
Oh, you are 30.
32.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I made you younger.
Oh, cool. Hey, I'm fine with that.
I was like, he's 29.
I was like, you don't know me. Haha.
Let me get my hat. So, you're 32.
Right.
For somebody to actually try and mold you, you would pick up on that in an instant.
Maybe.
Yes, you would.
Maybe. But, okay.
Because there's key words and triggers.
Right.
If I was trying to make you a liberal, every step of the way that I started going down certain routes and trying to manipulate you, you'd be like, well, wait a minute. I don't prescribe to any of these things. I'm not a Democrat or Republican. I'm not trying to be on any side. Or if I was trying to make you a Republican. The Tea Party has a lot of good things, and you're like, yeah, they also are really crazy. And then you just start laughing at me. You're going to catch anything I do.
Right.
You're going to. There'd be no way for me to make you align yourself to a political party without you picking up on it.
But but there's also there is a possibility if you believe in the slow burn, right? Where it's okay, well, I'm going to slowly introduce these thoughts into your head.
I would have to do that to you.
Right.
What do teachers? You don't have to do that to a 6-year-old.
What do you mean by you don't have to?
I don't have to do a slow burn to a 6-year-old. I'm an adult in a teaching position of power. I'm believed regardless, unless the parents are teaching you. This is what you're missing.
What you're giving them is yeah. They're gonna gobble up.
So molding is you have to mold. You can't inadvertently mold a child.
No, okay, but I think you can though.
You can't.
Yeah.
You're guiding them.
Yeah.
Guiding them is not
molding them.
Okay, and that's why I switched it to influence. But this is where I was going with the whole.
You keep going back to the molding, and it's very annoying. Stop using the word.
And I was, but I wanted to explain why I was using the word, because the way that I meant it was by influence. Because like I don't.
It's the degree of influence.
Yeah.
There's bullshit influence where it's just casual.
Yeah.
Don't say mean things to her that made her cry. That's very inappropriate. Say sorry.
Yeah.
And then there's, today we're gonna talk an hour about feelings.
Yeah.
That would be molding,
right,
whether positive or negative.
Yeah. So, but I think there's
individual moments of
those are different degrees of molding. Because like your intent, like if you
there is no intent.
Yeah, so if there is intent, is what I'm saying. Like let's say,
the whole
let's
point.
say, yeah, that is
That's
my
what
whole
molding
point.
is.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying. So like, imagine what your scenario, what you said. Hey, Susie, don't do that. Versus, Susie, let's sit down and talk about this thing. Let's why are you behaving in this way? Because you're doing these things and I don't like them, and they should stop because I want you to be a better person. That could be the same person. So the same person could be, so that the sitting down is an action that will have a stronger effect, or like it's like putting both your hands on the pot or on the clay that you're trying to mold into a pot.
But that's not molding.
But that is molding.
Well,
like you just said that you use that example as
moments.
Yeah, but you said the
molding is the constant effort.
No. It's not.
Do you want me to read the fucking definition?
Read it again. Okay. Read it again, then I'll go back to my thing. Go ahead.
To mold someone or something
and I'll stop you at a certain
means
point.
to change or influence them over a period of time.
Over a period of time. So a period of time could be a moment.
No.
Yeah. A period of time could be a moment. It doesn't definitively indicate what the period of time has to be. Does it have to be 2 weeks, 2 hours in order for it to be considered molding?
Well, then let me get a different definition so that'll prove me
All
right.
Go ahead. As you're doing that, I'm going to go over to Susie. So the same teacher could have again, it's all about the intention. The intention for this person to influence this person to be better. So they're trying to mold this person to be better. So I'm sitting down, a teacher sitting down with Susie in order to I'm going to talk this out so then you could become a better person later on. But
this is more the one that. Sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead.
To influence someone so that they will have certain qualities or behave in a certain way.
Right. So goes along the lines of what I'm saying. In fact, it uses my word, influence.
The coach must mold a group of individual players into a team.
Yeah. So again, the intentionality is the end goal of trying to mold them into a team. Now then,
you're just all over the place with the molding. That's the problem.
No. I'm not.
You were in the beginning.
No. I wasn't. I was trying to. We look at the word differently because of the different way that we look at things. Because you could be like, okay, well, this is this kind of person. You could know whether
because there's a goal.
So you believe that you can ascertain someone's intentionality, whereas I leave room for I don't know. I could say I think this is what their intention is, but I don't know.
Well, then they're not trying.
No, because of that difference. I'll say
that would then make it not molding.
No. Hold on.
You can't say no.
Yeah. No. Okay. We're talking about let's break down
the whole point. The coach has to take the players and mold them into a team.
Right. So we're talking about
the entire point of molding is literally the action of trying to do it.
Correct. And so
if I'm like, hey, it wasn't good that you called that kid a faggot.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you that it's not good. I'm not trying to shape your fucking conscience.
But you are if the whole purpose. Okay, stop. Hold on. So if the coach is trying to mold players into a team, and one of the players calls another kid a faggot, and the coach says, hey, don't do that. If that is the purpose that he's saying behind not doing that. His intentionality might be in order to make them not develop any kind of animosity so they could come together as a team.
But his overarching goal is formulating them as a team, right?
Which I agreed with. I just said that.
Yeah, so then you're pulling out a particular incident and then equating it and
No. I'm saying that this particular incident, it contributes to the whole molding effort.
Yes, because his goal is to mold.
Right.
So if the person doesn't have an intention to do anything,
right.
How are you calling it molding?
I'm not. What I'm saying is that we can't ascertain, and again, we can't ascertain.
Why are we going into hypothetical individuals?
I'm not
literally
going into hypotheticals, man. Like, I mean, we are literally talking about hypothetical. Never mind. But okay, so this coach.
No.
Stick with me. So the coach.
I can't.
So the coach.
Stop talking about the coach.
No.
Because
wait, why? You didn't let me finish with Susie, and now the coach is gone. So the coach. So
forget the coach because he's the coach.
In this moment. So think about the. Okay, I'll make the comparison.
You're already wrong.
Think about coach. Coach as teacher. Think about the coach as the teacher. Okay, so the coach is trying to have the intention of molding these players into a team.
He needs them to be in a team so that they can win games.
So he's molding. So then the teacher is trying to mold these kids to be better people. So
what if that's not their intention?
Then it's not. Then what I'm saying is not right. But what I'm saying
that's my whole point.
No, but the point that you were making is that teachers aren't molding kids. Well, I'm saying
no,
that
we're not.
We don't. Okay, what are you saying?
What do you think I'm saying?
I think you were saying that most teachers don't care, so they're not trying to intentionally.
The mere act of doing an act of kindness is not equating to molding.
And I agree with that. I agree to that.
Why are you still fighting me on it?
I'm not fighting you on it. I just agree to that. I agree to that.
So and we just had an argument off of nothing.
No. I tried to explain what we were arguing, and you cut me off. The whole we were talking about so we started off.
You need
the
to
learn
to stop talking.
Oh shit! Oh my god! No. So we were talking about the DeSantis thing. If you agree
with me, just say, "Oh, I get it."
I said that. I literally said that. I could stop the tape and go back to it and press play to the exact moment where you said that, and I was like, "You're right. You can't ascertain through that moment what the intention is." I literally said those words.
Then why did you continue to talk and go down a different route?
Because I was talking about a specific, a different thing. Because I wasn't talking. I was like, okay, we could go back.
I don't want to go back.
We can go back.
What was the one that we had? What was the
measured response? Or no, there's a stupid person. People could be stupid or not. But no,
I think those were in the same one.
Yeah,
right?
I think so. No, but in this thing, it was.
I think I said that was stupid, and then you were like, "Well, not everybody."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh,
Jesus." I remember that. No, but in this one, it wasn't that I was.
You kept talking, and I thought you were still fighting me.
No. I agreed. I was like, "Yeah, you're right," and then I changed. I was like, "Okay, well, this is what I mean to say," and because it's like no.
I think because we were still on that route, I thought you were still going down that hole.
Okay, no. The intentionality you can't ascertain in that moment whether it was someone's intentionality.
Now we're still kind of disagreeing on that.
No. I thought we agree on that. I thought you just said that's what you said. Okay.
The whole point.
I thought you just said the opposite. No, where someone's an action of that moment, you can't ask. You don't know what that person's intents are. What that person's intent is.
No.
That's what she said.
I said individual moments.
Right.
Of education or something like that.
Of telling not to slap him, not to do this, punch him back. Don't say faggot.
Does not mean molding.
Right, and we agree with that.
Molding is a more bigger effort than just.
No.
You can't throw things at the kids.
Wait. Well, let's stop at the part that you just said. So this individual moment doesn't necessarily in and of itself mean molding.
If the teacher is just trying to hold it together,
right?
That doesn't mean she's she's molding the students
Right,
into something.
right. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's end there. So right there.
Okay.
So we agree on that. That is the part that I agree with.
Okay.
So I'm not going back and trying to
But you
be
keep
right.
you keep
I'm
going
saying-
to this route like
no, no,
well that we can't
no, no.
definitively say like
Yeah, because
like
no,
you're
no,
a
because
goddamn lawyer.
we're saying we're saying the same thing. I don't have the money to go to law school, but we're saying the same thing when it comes to that intention, because that moment you can't ascertain what that person's intentions are.
Yeah.
So you can't make the call whether someone's molding or not out of that action. And I was like, yeah, you're right. And then I brought up the example, but what if they did? It's all about intentionality. What if they did have the intention of?
Stop saying intent. Just say intentions.
What if they did have the?
Because now we're
intentions versus
we're trying to sound
intentionality?
too intelligent and we're retarded.
Okay, I'm intelligent at that. No, it's like so if someone's trying to. What if someone has the intention to mold?
They want the kids
So,
to be good
it-
people,
yeah,
and
and
they're
they're trying
always
to-
looking for a life lesson type thing. Yeah.
Right. So if they want the kids to learn to do those things, then that if they behave the same way in a particular moment, that particular moment would be the purpose behind them doing that thing or correcting that behavior in that particular moment would be because they have an intentionality, or they want to build towards that intentionality of making them.
I don't even know what that means.
It's an intentionality. They
No, it's just,
their
I want to build
intentions-
towards this intentionality.
Yeah. Like what they want to manifest these good behaviors, and
No, they just wanna-
all these
You're
moments
getting
count.
fancy.
No.
They just want the kids to be good people.
Right. Well, if that's their intention,
Simplify it.
but if that's their intention, then they're molding them to be good people. That is simplified.
Not when you were using some big words.
Okay. I'm sorry.
One of them I can't remember, and I didn't know what you were saying.
Maybe I'm pretending to be smarter than I am because I don't know. But what I'm saying is because you don't know whether or not that person in a moment is
You can know.
And because we look at things
Are you
differently.
stupid?
I
don't think you're dumb.
I don't think so. But I also don't believe in
From
stupid
a-
people. So,
If you are from the outside looking in, you should, as a grown fucking adult with kids.
Hold on.
No.
Wait. So if we can agree on the one thing.
I'm
if we
saying
can, if we
there's
can
a
agree-
window where nobody
Yeah.
can see you, and you're
Okay.
just looking in on a classroom.
Right.
As a father and someone who I don't think is very fucking dumb,
I don't think so. But hey.
you should be able to pick up on if someone if someone is trying to mold kids, positive or negative.
Right, so
You would be able to pick up on that.
I think that I would.
Unless
And
you're
so
a
when I
psycho and you like see somebody go like, "Hey, don't throw that eraser at that kid," and you're like, "They're molding."
No. Well, I'm just saying, I think that they might be. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying they might. Essentially, we agree that they might be or they might not be. That's what we agree on. We can't tell the intention because since molding is all about intentionality, you
Why
can't
are
tell.
you so scared?
I'm not scared.
You're scared of committing.
I'm not scared of committing. Sorry, wife. It's like no, but it's not. Because like when it comes to like committing, like okay, this person is 100% for sure this versus that. I don't know. Like I don't make that determination.
You're
And I
manipulating
think
children.
the
You should
reason-
be able to pick up on that.
Well, I think and I think
the
I think
likelihood that someone's that much of a psychopath.
it's impressive. You would be impressed by it.
No, I wouldn't.
It exists.
I guarantee you I wouldn't.
But I'm saying it exists.
There is nobody that
People-
can impress me on how they've manipulated children.
No, but I'm saying that
Because children are easily manipulated.
which is true. But I'm saying that there are people that you wouldn't be able to perceive what their intentions are.
Okay.
So
Sure.
that's all I'm saying. And we agree to that. Where it's like
I don't agree.
in that moment, let's say in that moment, what we agreed to was in that moment, you don't know if that person's molding
Well,
or
what's
not.
the moment?
Don't say faggot. Don't throw that eraser. Stop punching that baby in the face. It could, so that moment.
Those wouldn't be molding moments.
Okay, so I disagree with that because if molding is all about intentionality, then like the coach who's trying to stop saying that word to that person because you guys are supposed to be a team. That's part of the molding process. So those moments can add up together to be molding, versus someone who's not doing it, or who is doing the same kind of behavior, who would act the same way, but doesn't have the intentionality of molding them. Yeah. What part of that do you disagree with?
For a coach to mold a team together, there are significant moments that bring the team together.
But
the moment of quit fucking around. That is not the moment of molding.
But molding isn't a moment. It's like an ocean isn't just a vast collection of water. It's not only a vast collection of water. It is also a collection. But you're asking. It's an ocean is not just a vast collection of water. It's not just one big conglomeration. It's also a collection of raindrops. So these raindrops are the moments, and these moments. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Not, you can't just
for coaching. There is no raindrops.
Yes, there is. You joking? Yes, there is.
Sorry. It's because you just said raindrops, and it sounded so stupid to me. There are tidal waves when it comes to coaching.
There's also raindrops.
Yeah, but the raindrops mean absolutely nothing if you don't have the fucking tidal wave.
If you
don't have the big drills that push them to their fucking limits, where someone's throwing up. Or wants to throw up, and they're just dog tired, and you're building up stamina, you're building up camaraderie. Who gives a fuck how many raindrops? Well, you're not there. You didn't do it.
No. But let's say you have that, but you don't have the raindrops that add up to having respect and common decency between each other.
Of the molding are the big.
No.
Yes, it is.
And I disagree, because it's like you can't.
In coaching, yes, it is.
No, because you can't push kids, or you can't push anybody to do those things if they don't have trust in you, and they don't have faith in what they're doing, and they don't have love for the game.
A good coach inspires.
Right.
So, he's able to communicate.
But in order to inspire and communicate, speeches. But it's more about speeches. It's also about.
It's not.
Yeah, it is.
One of the greatest things I've ever had in my life with a coach was a speech after I lost a game.
Right, but also, speech. Yeah, but also you have a relationship with that person. So those are the raindrops. And without that relationship with that person, then the speech wouldn't mean as much. The tidal wave wouldn't mean as much if those things didn't conglomerate together.
It's who the person is as a collective.
Yeah, as a collective. That's what I'm saying. A collection of raindrops. So each moment matters.
No.
So you think that?
So you think a good coach walks into a room and people go, fuck this guy. They have demeanor. They have poise.
When did I say that?
No, I'm just saying, like, a great coach.
Yeah.
Most great coaches, they don't need raindrops. They come in there, and I'm not saying boom, like aggressive.
Yeah.
But it's right off the bat, business.
Yeah.
And you just go, time to listen.
Yeah.
But it's who they are. Yeah, it's not who I am.
Yeah, but it's a conglomeration thing. Like, okay, coming in, it's the presence that you have, it's the things that you wear, it's how you talk about it. It's what you talk about, it's how you're perceived, it's the relationship. That's what I'm saying. It's a collection.
Constant.
Yeah, but it's a collection.
It's always happening.
Right.
It's not.
But every little bit matters. Every little bit. I mean, shit. What is it? Every given Sunday, Al Pacino had that one. Every single inch, right? Every single inch. It all adds up. All these moments.
But it's constant.
Yeah, but
it's not momentary.
But that's exactly my point. So since it's not momentary,
drive-by.
But since it's not a drive-by, since it's not momentary, since it's constant,
why are you so hell-bent on me saying? I'm saying is I can pick up on it, and then you're like, well, there could be very many different little moments.
I'm not denying. I've never, and I said
so
this. I'm not denying your ability to pick up on it. I even conceded and said you're actually really good at it. I said I think you're better at it than you think you are.
Yeah, but you said, but you keep saying you can't, and I'm like,
yeah,
you can.
I can't. Well, I choose not to. Then I should say, I choose not to because I want to leave room. Okay, then I'll say I choose not to. I choose not to.
You don't even need to say that. You're just.
But that's what I want to say because that's how I choose to look at it. And I think we just look at those things differently. That's all. Like, you're willing to commit I perceive this, that's what that is. I'm like, I perceive this is how I'm going to operate because I see this, but it could be something else. There could be something there. I don't know.
But listen to what we're saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying you can.
Okay.
You can perceive it.
Yeah.
And then you're saying you can't.
I could say that I can't 100%.
But you would say, like, you can.
Yeah, I'm saying that.
Not you, but you were saying, like, you, meaning the
someone,
society or whatever the hell it is.
You can't
people.
You can't see 100%. You can't.
And I'm saying you can.
Okay.
But with me saying you can doesn't mean that you will. By you saying, you can't, it means nobody can.
No.
Me saying you can, meaning you have the ability to get the skills to be able to read people and figure that out.
And I don't disagree with that. But I don't disagree with that.
But by saying you can't, you're disagreeing.
No. I'm not disagreeing with somebody being able to perceive something, someone being able to read somebody. What I'm disagreeing with is somebody 100% knowing an intentionality. You can't 100% read somebody. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's the little caveat. That's the 1% that I'm.
You might as well just say that you can't.
But for me, I think it makes a big difference, and it might not for you and for other people, but for me, it makes the difference to be like
absurd.
It might be, but I am a believer in absurdities.
You've already seen these like weird TikToks and shit. Like it's out, like you can see it.
Yeah.
You couldn't see that.
But I didn't say
you need to reevaluate and take your step back and go, well, I don't want to make perceptions.
No. I didn't say I didn't want to make perceptions. I'm saying I don't want to make that like ironclad determination. Could you with
one of those crazy TikToks?
No, I could make a perception. I'll be like, hey, this person, based off of based off of what I see, my children are not gonna be on this app. So that's a perception.
I'm not talking about the app.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the teachers on TikTok.
Based off of the teachers on TikTok, I don't want my kids to be on this app. I want to teach
not the app.
Okay.
I'm talking about being able to perceive what they're doing.
Yeah. So
you can't figure that out?
I didn't say I couldn't figure that out. I said that I could say, and this is where we differ. I think this is frustration that you have with me. I'll look at it and I'll be like, okay, they're doing this, and this is what I perceive. Based off of what I perceive, I'm going to make these decisions. I'm not going to say that what I perceive is 100%. This is what their intentionality is. What I'm saying is based off of what I perceive, this is what I can surmise. This is what I could pull together. Based off of that, this is the way that I'm acting.
That's a very odd way to go about it.
It is odd, and I submitted to that. And it
doesn't make any logical sense.
For me, it does because I want to leave room for the possibility of what I can't see.
Which is what?
I don't know. I can't see it. So, like for example,
psycho.
No. Like it could be. It could be someone. I like to think about things more optimistically.
I've had enough,
like that.
and I want to kill black people. Well, you can't make perceptions.
No, you can make perceptions. You can't make determinations. You can't.
Yes, you can make a determination.
I guess I should say not determination. I'm using the wrong word. Like
some people want to start a race war.
Yeah, so
that's their ideology. Okay, that's what they've adhered to. That's what they're doing.
Let's stick with this example. I want to kill black people. All right, so I've determined as a black person, probably not the safest thing for me to be there. So determined, but I don't want to say this person is 100% anti-black. He might just maybe he had a bad experience. Maybe something terrible happened to him. Maybe he grew up with this kind of perception.
The action is there.
I know, but I'm not refuting the action. I'm not refuting how did he behave about the action. What I'm refuting is making the determination of who that person is. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying I'm perceiving this person this way based off of what I see. I'm leaving room like this. It might just be a bad moment, and they might just say something crazy. I'm not willing to deal with it. I don't want people that I care about to want to deal with it.
Why are you going into such depths?
No, but that's just how I think. And I think because of that.
So the guy's got 150 hours on YouTube of it, spanning 7 years.
Yeah, maybe 151. The 51st hour, he's gonna be like, "I'm sorry, guys, that was fucked up for me to say."
He's already killed them all.
Okay, then maybe it's like. I feel sorry for my ways. I've killed a bunch of people. Again, I'm not refuting the action.
What the fuck? Okay. Why are we going into the hypothetical apology?
Because I'm trying to depict.
The evidence is there.
Yeah.
The action took place.
Right.
What are you missing?
I'm not missing anything. What I'm saying.
No. I mean,
I don't mean that you're missing something.
Okay.
I meant literally like.
Oh, like what I would.
What are you? What
my
are you,
reservation
what
about.
are you missing that you are keeping yourself from making a declaration? That's what I mean.
Okay, yeah, I understand.
Not that you're like you're missing
the
something
point of that moment. Yeah. No,
what are you missing in it?
Well, I don't know what that person's backstory is. I don't know why they're doing what they're doing. I don't know what their upbringing
But it doesn't
was.
matter. The ideology's there. The conviction's there.
But I think it does matter because
Taking
let's say
the
this.
potential for being a schizophrenic or bipolar.
Right.
Like
so that might be a possibility, but there might be other factors involved. So like let's say for the purposes like it depends on like what my intention is. So like if my intention is like okay, I want to understand this person, then I have to leave room for knowing that I don't know 100%. I can't know 100%. So that's why I leave that open. And I think that's helpful when it comes to like let's say you wanted to de-radicalize that person. All right, so let's de-radicalize this.
We're not de-radicalizing.
No, but let's say that's my intention. So
the event is already taking place.
Right. But my purpose, but outside of the event, like I'm talking about the next event. So if you want to understand, like for the purpose,
that's not
understanding.
That's not the question.
No, but
that's not the question.
I answer the question.
But the whole thing is about the person.
You asked me what's am I missing?
The mindset?
Yeah, so I'm
can't figure out what the mindset is.
I didn't say I can't figure out the mindset. Racist. I didn't say I can't figure out the mindset. What I said is that I could perceive something, and I'll say based off of what I could see, this is what it is. But I won't say this is 100% it because my intention is like you were talking about. Like I have an ideology.
What do you not know?
My intention, my ideology, it has to do with trying to understand people. So if I want to understand people, then I have to.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, and it might be absurd even. Some might say.
that makes no sense.
Okay, but
because it's an entirely different thing. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't make any sense because
I think it does. You can't refute what I think. I think it makes sense. No, you don't. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You can't. Those are two completely separate things.
No. You asked me a question. I answered. Answering your question. You said, "What am I missing?"
That's not the question.
And then you said, "What am I missing to make this kind of this?" And I said, "I could determine. No, I could perceive who this person is, but what I
that's a completely different thing of what you're saying.
How is that different?
Because you're talking about how you're getting.
That's exactly
there.
what I'm saying. Wait.
No, you started talking about how did they get to this point and like.
Yeah, that's what I'm missing.
Those have nothing to do with each other.
It does for me. Like
no,
so I think that this person makes decisions or formed his idea or her idea based off of all the conglomeration of all these things.
You're missing. I'm saying somebody had sex with 5 children. I'm calling them a pedophile, and you're saying let's pump the brakes.
No, I didn't say pump the brakes. I can say based off of their actions. Saying a pedophile is an accurate depiction, but I'm not saying that.
So why can't you say that about the racist guy who just killed some black people?
Yeah, so that person's racist. But so again, the same thing. I can't say that. Oh, that guy's not a pedophile. The same way I can't say the person who killed the racist guy who killed black people isn't a murderer or isn't racist or it wasn't hate related. The thing that I'm missing, the question that you asked me is like, okay, well, I could say those things because based off of the observation, that moment determined, okay, pedophile, murderer, hate, whatever. So those are determinations that could be made in that moment. But what we're talking about was the intentionality. So I can't determine 100% what that person, all the person's intentions are.
So he didn't go out with the intention of fucking 5 children?
Is that what I said?
What is the question of intention? His intentions.
Because the thing is, so I'm not questioning his.
I am very confused.
Okay, so like I'm saying, you can't perceive 100% what someone's intentions are.
So the first 4 weren't enough. He needed the 5th one to really seal the deal.
Wait, what? I mean, no, you could still. I don't
understand what you're saying.
I don't understand what you're saying.
The kids.
Yeah.
Pedophile. Killing 5 people, having sex with 5 kids. Pick one. I mean.
It's okay. So both. I mean, we could be like, okay, that person's definitely a
We'll
pedophile.
do Timothy
That
McVeigh
person's-
or something like that, because then that's a person, and we
Yeah.
can.
Well, I mean, definitely a murderer. Okay, that person definitely killed people. So I mean, but that's different from intentionality. When I'm talking about understanding why a person is doing something. So I mean, I get like when the pedophile, like
He was
okay, did he intend-
radicalized, and then he blew up a building.
Well, I don't disagree with any of that.
So how do you not know what his intentions are?
Because there might be something else, like a reasoning behind why his intentions are the way that they are. There
Gives
might
a
be-
fuck.
I do.
Because that does nothing to change the final result.
But okay,
you're just doing
so
a
that's-
psychoanalysis,
and that's the difference. And I
and a
believe
psychoanalysis has
and
absolutely
so-
no bearing
okay.
on anything.
no, but it does because
No,
it does. It does.
not on what he is.
Yeah, no, it does because let's say you do a
Jesus
psycho
Christ.
because you can't change the outcome of that moment. It's already happened. Those
Yes,
people are
I'm
already
talking
dead.
about the identifying
Those
of it.
Those kids are already dead. But in order to identify something, you can't just understand that you can't understand something 100%. So because
What
of
are
that,
you trying?
because
What is
of
the
that,
goal of this?
because
I
and that's
just
the
do not
difference.
know.
And that's the difference. I already
What's the
said
difference?
the difference is you're looking at it from the standpoint of okay, so how can you make a change? How can you what does it matter whether you could see
No, I
this?
didn't say that.
Essentially,
I'm identifying what it is.
Essentially,
No, it isn't. No, I'm not.
Okay.
What's
no,
the
you're
goal?
not. Never mind. I was wrong.
What's
No,
the goal?
Essentially, you're trying to depict. Okay, well, what are the purpose of understanding the 1% when I could perceive 99, and there's the proof of the 99% of his intentionality.
What the fuck are you?
Like
he was radicalized. He read the Turner Diaries and he blew up a federal building and killed a bunch of people.
and I don't disagree with any of that.
So, what else more is there?
The reasoning.
If you psychoanalysis him, you're doing it to prevent future bombings.
Exactly. That is my goal. That is exactly why.
Those two things are not the same in any way, shape, or
They
form.
are
No, they're
because
not.
if you want to stop the next
Jesus
bad thing from
fucking
happening,
Christ.
if you care about this bad thing happening, then you'll care about if it happens again.
When did
So
that become part of the problem?
that is the entire problem.
No,
I think it's less. I think the
What are
reason
you
why
even talking about?
the reason why we have problems in the world isn't because people are walking around without intentionality. It's because people
You're
lack
insane.
the depth. Okay.
Because that's not the topic at hand.
But that is the topic.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. We started
What was my specific question?
about what am I missing to
No.
Okay. I'm wrong.
No. That was the secondary question.
Okay, what was the
I'm saying the initial primary question.
I don't remember. What are we referring? I mean, we're talking about the intentionality of people.
Let's say a terrorist attack against black people
Okay.
by some form of neo-Nazi white supremacist.
Right.
Well, we're now using Timothy McVeigh.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about identifying who he is and what the intentions were, and then you're saying, "Well, we don't know." No,
I didn't say it like that. I got a cooler voice than that. It's like, no.
That's a lot better than that. So I'm radicalized white supremacist blew up a building.
Okay.
Who gives a fuck?
Right.
You're now going into a
But I never refuted any of those things. I never refuted whether.
But you keep talking about other things that don't have anything to do with it.
No.
You're refusing to bend on this.
It has everything.
Nothing. No,
it has everything
no, it
to
doesn't.
do with it. I
Because
promise you it does.
no, it doesn't.
I-
It definitely doesn't.
So
Because it's a completely separate issue.
no, but it's not though.
Yes,
so
it is.
it's not. I see it as connected. So if by understanding, by psychoanalyzing, by
If you're
understanding-
radicalized,
by understanding
if you're
somebody,
radicalized,
Okay.
it doesn't matter how you got radicalized.
but it does. If
No.
It does. It depends on what your goal is.
Someone who's radicalized and blows themselves up and kills 50 people at a marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
What that person became, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
To stop it further and try and understanding it, yes, you would want to go into backgrounds and figure out what
Right.
events in their lives that
Right.
it's a completely different field.
No. But
Psychoanalyzing and just identifying what Ted Bundy killed and ate women. or killed and fucked dead bodies or whatever the fuck he did. I don't think he ate them.
I don't know. I don't
think he ate them. He is a serial killer.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you need to know. Serial killer, deranged, killed a bunch of people.
But it depends.
That's
depends.
it.
No, but it depends.
No.
It depends.
No. It's over there.
But it depends.
No, it's over there.
But it depends.
It's
it depends.
no. It's over
not,
there.
But it's not all you need to know. It depends on what you want to do. It depends on what you want to do. Like
that is a completely separate issue.
No,
there's a tree outside.
Okay, so like
there's a tree outside, and it's an oak tree.
Well, we keep going to jumping around.
No, it's an oak tree.
Okay.
I don't need to know anything else.
But it depends.
It's an oak tree.
It depends.
It's a tree, and it's an oak tree. You don't need to know anything else.
But
then someone comes along and is like, "Well, I wonder how trees get made.
Yeah.
How do the seeds formulate, and how long?" It's like, well, that's interesting. I never bothered to think about that. Well, let's go figure that out.
Yeah.
It's still a fucking oak tree.
But they're not refuting that.
They're separate conversations. What tree is that?
No.
What tree is that? Oh, that's an oak tree. Oh, wow, it's an oak tree? It's not just an oak tree. And then I start like going into how trees are made. Like, no, those have nothing to do with each other.
No. But it depends on the intentionality. So like, it depends on what the goal is. So like, if your goal is,
I'm not giving you a goal. I'm giving you a statement.
But you're not. But you don't have to give me a goal.
What is the person?
I have a goal. I have a goal.
The goal is to bother me.
No. And that is an unfortunate side effect. I don't want to. I didn't mean to. But the goal is to, like, my goal is to understand people. And in order...
I hate interrupting you.
No.
I am actually with you.
Okay.
I love doing deep dives into psychoanalysis.
Yeah.
But they are different.
Okay, so what do you see as different? Like what?
Meaning
doing deep
Ted
dives
Bundy's
into,
a serial killer.
Right.
Who gives a fuck how he got there?
I'm saying I don't.
No. You're missing the point entirely.
Okay.
I'm talking about Ted Bundy is like eating and fucking holes in the dead bodies or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, that's why.
And then he's dead, and then his face is on the TV, and it's like, what, the serial killer, Ted Bundy caught.
Yeah.
Who gives a flying fuck what his daddy did to him when he was younger? It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant.
What?
It has no bearing on anything in the world. No, it doesn't.
But it does.
It doesn't.
It does. I promise you it does.
You gotta fucking listen to me.
I am listening. I just disagree.
No.
I do disagree.
You haven't even let me finish my statement. Or what I'm saying.
That sounds like the end of a statement.
No, it doesn't. You actually just interrupted.
No. I said it sounded like it. I'm sorry. I perceived that wrong. Go ahead.
So he's now a serial killer.
Okay.
Who cares? He's a serial killer.
Okay.
It's there in the news.
Okay.
Going forward,
there
are now people who will psychoanalyze his background and try and figure it out.
Yeah.
It's an entirely separate process than the man himself and what he became.
No, but it's not different.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Because
it is different.
No. It's
people
not,
who are seeing him being caught as a serial killer.
Say,
he is a serial killer.
Yeah.
And then there are fucking idiots like us who will then go in and just read up on him. Figure it out. What did he do? Did he prefer fucking the dead body?
See,
no, he did have sex with dead bodies.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's outside of what I'm comfortable with.
I'm fine with that.
No, but go ahead.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. Who cares about the background?
The secondary, those people, that group of people who do psycho...
different, separate process.
But you're answering your own question. You said that who cares about it, and then you just brought up the example of people who would like try to understand his psyche in order to prevent future incidents from happening with other people. So they care, and the reason why they care is because they want to map out They want to map out the reasons or how
Rob,
he got.
I'm very well
how
aware
he
of
got-
what they're trying to do.
Right. So you can't say who cares about it. You know who cares about it. Those kind of people do.
It's an entirely separate process.
But for them, they don't see it as separate.
Yes, they
see it as
do.
the same. If they did,
Yes,
then,
they do.
If they
What the
did,
fuck are you talking about? The whole
if
point.
they did, then they wouldn't study him in order to paint out a profile.
Okay.
In order to
Maybe I'll say
prevent it
this
from
because I need
happening.
to simplify this better. Stopping
Wait, can you? They care about it,
No.
and they see it as the same. That's why they study him
Trying
and create
to-
a profile for the future. That's for them. That's the same thing. It's the same issue.
What does that have to do with fucking anything?
You made the claim that you asked the question, who cares, and then you made the claim. I was like, for them, they see it as the same thing. So you're saying it's separate. For them, they see it as the same thing.
talking about?
The example that you just
very
brought up.
frustrating right now.
I don't understand why. Like
The
you
cocksucker.
no, like the fucking the guys who do who analyze the person.
Yeah.
So they look at it as the same issue.
Yeah. What do you fucking think they're thinking about him?
What do you mean?
Their views on Ted Bundy.
They're like, oh, this is terrible. Don't want this to happen again.
What do you think they think? That he's a fucking serial killer?
Well, that's objectively true.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So they don't give. No,
they do care because that's why they're studying it, because they're trying to prevent it from happening.
You and your. I want to live in your head. So I could think about how you perceive words.
No, but it's not. I don't even think this was a word.
Infuriating.
I don't think this is a word issue. I think it's like they want to understand. Like in order
I
to try
don't
to
care.
understand,
I already know about that.
Okay,
I'm well
okay.
versed in it. I read books about it. I watch documentaries about it. I know more about serial killers. It's uncomfortable.
But that being said, it's like that. Then
It's
you answered the question.
No, it's
then.
an entirely separate process
But
than
for them-
identifying who they are as the person.
But they don't think so. Those
Yes, they
people
do.
don't. If they did, then it would be useless to create a profile based off of
how
them.
does I fucking hate you?
No, well, like they create a profile based off.
No, stop talking because that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. You're talking about the process of profiling serial killers,
Yeah.
which is indiscriminate. It's not about an individual.
But it
Who
revolves.
gives a
it re-
fuck
it
about
revolves-
them?
It revolves. They do. The people
No, they
who
don't.
analyze, the people who make the
No, they
profiles.
don't.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
It's a.
No, they don't.
The way. How do they make a profile? Since you're well versed in this, how do they make a profile? They see a bunch of.
I want
Talk about Kamala Harris.
Listen, maybe we should put on boxing gloves, and then I can get my ass kicked.
I mean, but I'm just saying.
What are you talking about?
I'm trying to tell you.
But this has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
But it does.
No, it doesn't. You talk in circles. This is very infuriating.
I'm
you know
not.
what? Next time you complain about a fight with your wife, I'm gonna be like, I'm on her side.
I see it. No, but I'm saying for them, the way that they create a profile is by conglomerating a bunch of individuals. So they look at Jeffrey Dahmer. They look
You're
at
going into a
different
fucking galaxy.
But for them, it's all related. You're saying they're two
Jesus
separate
fucking
issues.
Christ.
I'm
We're
saying
talking about
for them-
identifying who the motherfucker is, dude.
Yeah. So I'm saying
And you're
that for
in
them-
here
for
fucking
them-
talking games. This
No,
is
I'm not-
absurd.
I'm not talking games. I'm saying that in order for them,
No
they
one
look at it
gives
as
a fuck.
But they do because
No, they
wanna,
don't.
They do. That's why they create. That's the
I'm
whole
gonna
purpose.
keep throwing my hat.
For a hat. Well, that's the whole purpose behind creating a profile.
It's a field. Oh.
Yeah, it is a field, and in the field they look at it as all connected. That is the whole reason
What
as
does
to
that
why
have anything to do with
they're
what I
creating
was
a
talking about?
They're creating.
What
a
does that have
profile.
anything to do with what I was talking about?
Understanding,
Nothing at all.
To understand somebody.
What do you have?
To
What are you
understand.
talking about?
To understand somebody.
No one is talking about how to understand.
Yes, I am. That's literally the only thing I've been talking
That's
about.
not the question. That's not the question at all.
I'm answering.
That has nothing to do with anything that we're talking about.
But it does everything.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
You asked me a question and I answered the question, and then you asked the question, then you answered your own question, and I'm trying to point it out and how it's connected to everything.
You're infuriating me.
I know, and that's the reason as to why you're doing what you're doing. But it doesn't take away anything that I just said.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Okay, so this person.
Why are you even talking about profiling?
It
has nothing to do at all with what we're talking about.
But it does. You
Adolf Hitler was a fascist.
You brought up profiling.
No, I didn't.
Jump into another example.
I didn't bring up profiling.
Okay.
You brought it up.
You said there's people who analyze people, and maybe it's for the purpose of doing this. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly. It has
nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Okay, so how is it? But for them, it does. It has everything to do with it. So for people who look like that, people like me,
Adolf Hitler was a fascist.
Another example, but like people who understand, who want to seek understanding.
Shit! Why are we even talking about this?
Because you asked me a question. You kept asking me
you
what it has to do with it, and I'm trying to tell you.
You don't even know what I'm. I don't even know what I'm asking.
Okay, well then that explains the frustration. If you ask the question, I start to answer it, and you don't know what the question even is, then you would be confounded by the answer. Of course you would be. Yeah. Wait. So
why are you talking about profiling?
Okay, so I'm going to answer.
Why?
Why?
I don't want to hear anything about profiling. I want to know why.
I'm going to answer your question, but understand that it's you that asked this question. Why am I talking about profiling? The reason
pertaining to anything that we've been discussing.
Why am I talking about profiling in pertaining to anything we're discussing? I'm discussing profiling because profiling encompasses the whole, like my ideology when it comes to people seeking understanding.
Wrong.
No. But what is wrong about that?
What are we even talking about?
Wait. What's wrong about what I just said? I answered your question. What's wrong about my answer?
Why are you going down that route?
Wait. What is wrong? No. You said wrong. What? Okay, you could ask. Why am I going down the route? Is a fair follow up. Saying that I'm wrong is confusing. So you asked me a question. I answered the question that you asked.
Meaning that's a wrong answer.
Okay, so what does the right answer? What is wrong about the answer that I gave?
I am literally. This stemmed from.
No. What is wrong about the answer that I gave? You said why are we talking about profiling?
Because this has nothing to do with understanding people.
But
it's not the question.
No.
The question isn't about
profiling. Profiling is 100% about understanding people.
We're not even talking about profiling. I didn't ask you a question about profiling.
That is the exact question you asked me. You said, "Why are you talking about profiling in relation to what we were talking about before?" And I just answered the question. I said, "I'm talking about profiling because it encompasses exactly." Profiling encompasses exactly my mentality when it comes to people.
The reason why I said wrong,
seeking understanding.
Okay, the reason why I said wrong is because I'm asking you why profiling is being brought up.
Because I'm trying to explain why.
But that has nothing to do with what we're even talking about.
No. You just asked me why is it being brought up.
What was my original question?
Why is it being brought up?
What was my original question?
Why is it being brought up? I'll answer that. That's the second question. Why is it being brought up? It's being brought up because I wanted to depict why I look at things the way that I look at it. Now, what was the...
My statement was literally, Ted Bundy's a serial killer.
Yeah, and
And you couldn't come to terms with it.
No. It was the opposite. You're not hearing what I'm saying. I said, I don't disagree with you.
Why do you keep talking?
What are you talking about?
When I agree with people, I shut up.
That's not how I operate. When I have conversations, I talk.
But then you're not agreeing with me.
I am agreeing. I'm literally agreeing. I said I agree.
You said you can't definitively know.
No. We brought up example after. This guy's definitively a pedophile. That person's definitively a murderer. Objectively speaking, based off of the moment that happened that we're talking about.
But you said you can't definitively know everything about them.
Yes, exactly. So those are two different things. You can call that person a murderer.
I fucking hate you.
No. This is no. It's not a rabbit hole. You can know that person's a murderer.
Why do you keep
No. You can know this person is a murderer because they murdered somebody. You can know this person's a pedophile because they fondled a little kid. But that doesn't mean in and of itself that you know 100% everything about that person.
That's not what that statement means.
What
That's not what it means.
No. Okay, two different things.
Let's
tackle one thing at a time.
We're gonna go to couples therapy.
Well, let's tackle one thing at a time. So, what do you mean by that's not what that statement means? Because I mean, in the literal sense of the term,
When human beings, because now I think you're an alien. When human beings say Ted Bundy was a serial killer,
right?
It's just a fucking.
I agree. I agree. He is a serial killer. He's a serial killer because he killed.
Yeah, but then you start getting into these particulars.
No. The particulars that we're getting into.
And then you start talking about profiling, and I'm like, why are we talking about profiling?
The particulars that we're getting into is because we're looking at things differently. Because it all stemmed off of the intentionality of teachers. Because I used the wrong word. So, what I'm saying is that because of the way that I look at things versus the way that you look at things, we just disagree on what the intentionality
it's the words
might
you're using.
Be. Okay, what word or words am I using that you don't agree with? Because
you have this tendency to be very particular about things.
100%, yeah. So, at a detriment sometimes. I'm sure.
To a fault.
Yeah. So we're
talking about the psychological profiling of a serial killer is such an in-depth thing.
Yeah.
It's beyond the casual statement.
Right.
So me talking about the casual statement of a serial killer, and then you kind of you agreeing, but then saying you can't definitively know it, you're now going into. I mean, I'm talking in depth, and you want to. I'm talking freshman year in high school English, and you're trying to have PhD psychology classes.
Yeah. Okay,
and that's why I'm telling you, they're not even in the same galaxy.
Right, but okay, so you determine it as differently.
Meaning the public identifying Ted Bundy as just a serial killer.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Who cares?
Right. So
nobody fucking cares.
Well, okay.
The profiling is an entire different thing.
Yeah.
Over there.
Okay. So whether he's a serial killer or not is different from understanding his understanding his psychological profile. That's what you're talking about.
What potentially could have led to this?
Yeah, okay.
They're two separate things,
okay.
And you're you're connecting them together.
I'm saying, so what I'm saying is, if you just want to call him a serial killer, okay, he's a serial killer. I'm agreeing with that. I'm saying that this can exist over here, and I'm saying that this exists over here.
Nobody's saying that it can't.
This in-depth analysis. But what I'm saying is that to this person, it's two different things. To this person, they're one and the same. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying the two can be right at the same time.
But they're not.
But they are. For this person, I think you're so much of this person, that's why you can't see, you can't understand.
I'm that person.
Okay, well then if you understand that, okay, in order to do this in-depth analysis, then you can't ever have the mentality, got it, 100%. Like, when they make profiles, they're not like, okay, got the profile, we're 100% done, never have to touch on it ever again.
But that's not what that means.
No, but that's not how they look at it that way. They don't look at it that way. For them, it's ongoing because you can never 100% know. And that's the perspective that I'm looking at things. You can't 100% understand the intentionality. So for that reason, that's why they see the serial killer and this profile as the same thing. They do.
They separate them.
They're saying, like, he's a serial killer.
You think
that's a determination.
You think people that study serial killers have this disillusioned connection to society where they just don't understand how the vast majority of the public thinks?
No, I'm not saying that.
Things.
But I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that they do.
Serial killers are serial killers. They committed what they did, and fuck them.
And again, I haven't refuted any of those things.
Yes. But they're not the same. What are you talking about? They're the same. They're two different things.
For the person who's doing the in-depth analysis, they could say, "Oh yeah, this person's a serial killer." But now that we know that this person's a serial killer, now we know it's an oak tree. Now that we know this is racist, now we know it's a profile. Let's do an in-depth analysis. And in doing so, you can never reach a point where you're like, got it 100%.
But that's
my perspective. I'm just saying that. And that's why
they're not connected with what I'm even talking about.
But it is, because this whole thing spanned off of talking about the intentionality of teachers.
Yeah, the guy's fucking nuts and he's killing people.
Yeah. So
Who
again,
gives a fuck how he's nuts?
The people who are doing the in-depth analysis. Again, you answered your own question. So for the teacher, I'm saying I'm agreeing with.
You're missing it.
Okay, what am I?
I'm
missing?
not saying nobody cares. And no one gives.
That is literally what you said.
No, I'm not.
Okay, what you did.
I'm saying I threw my hands up and I said nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
That's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing. That's literally what you said.
No, but you're then going into depth. No, but they do care.
Yeah.
No.
There are people who do care. I'm saying
What the fuck are you not getting?
I get it all, man. I mean, not everything, but that sounds a little pompous to me. But like, I see like this determination.
I'm saying no one gives a fuck.
But I think some people get fucks.
No one
some fucks given.
Can I please finish what I'm saying?
Okay, I'm sorry. That sounded definitive. So I apologize. No one gives a fuck. Sounds like exclamation point. Next paragraph. My bad. So.
I'm saying there. I don't know why I have to explain this. There are people that have interests in serial killers.
Yeah.
There are people that are in the field of psychology who, in turn, will study criminal behavior.
Right.
That exists.
Yeah.
Regardless of ever who it is.
Yeah.
So no one gives a fuck that Ted Bundy's a serial killer. He's caught. He's gone. Fuck him.
But I'm saying
there's institutions that are set up that are then dealing with that, regardless of whatever is happening.
And the people who go to those institutions in order to create and expand upon the profile,
because they have a morbid curiosity and they're fucking psychos.
Right, but they care. That's what I'm saying. They give a fuck. So I'm just saying, like,
not
no
necessarily.
Okay. But now we're talking about their intentionality.
But now you're talking about morality behind it. Like,
no, I'm saying now we're diving into their intentionality. So I mean,
stop saying intentionality.
Their intentions.
I don't even know if that's a real word. That's why I keep
I think it is intention. Right? Yeah, it just. I was just saying intention.
I don't know if intentionality
it's just.
Well, that would fit into intention. Us being unintelligent.
Yeah, I should start making up words that I know are
We've
wrong.
already done that.
Yeah. But the intentions of the people who are studying it might be like, oh, they're psychos. Maybe they're just, oh, I like this shit. I like this real life shit. And some
again, you're reading too much into psycho. I think psycho meaning like
they're just obsessed with like crazy little details. Yeah.
Who in their right mind wants to look at pictures of eaten bodies?
Yeah.
I might.
Yeah. So yeah, but
I'm well aware that nobody wants to do that.
Well,
that's why I'm saying nobody wants to do that.
Okay,
no one cares.
So I'll change. I think this is another difference that we have. I'm a very literal person.
Yeah, no fucking shit.
so even nobody is like, no, that's somebody. You're somebody. So,
people as a whole do not give a fuck.
Okay.
Ted Bundy's a serial killer. I mean.
Okay, and I agree with that. I think
6 months after he's dead, and there's like an expose about his family life. Oh, better believe everybody's going to be, what the fuck happened to him? Was his dad not around? Did his dad beat him?
Mm-hmm.
But no one gives a fuck.
I see what you're saying.
Ted Bundy's a serial killer. He's crazy. He killed women, and he raped them, and they manipulated them, and he broke out of jail a couple times. And he was kind of normal looking, and that's unsettling. This normal looking guy was killing people. That's all that matters.
To most people.
No. I'm saying that's all that matters.
To most people.
No. That's all that matters.
No. And this is why I say to most people.
Let me finish. You're not letting me
okay.
finish.
Again, that sounds like the end of a statement.
It's because you're ready to.
No, I'm sorry. I don't mean to. Like, that just sounded like the end of a statement.
That's all that matters. Then, after the fact, to prevent it from happening again, there are people who are going to look into it to see if there are identifiable signs.
Right. And to them.
So who gives? No, nobody cares.
But they do. They care. So when you say nobody cares, what you mean is most people don't care.
It's not even most people. This is someone's job.
Yeah. So there's some people who care. Not just because
it's just something that they do.
That they've elected to do. Like teaching. Some people elect to do it, and we're talking about the intentionality. Some people, maybe it's a convenience thing, maybe it's an ease thing, maybe it's I wanna do this good stuff thing. Maybe I care about kids thing. But I'm just saying that when you say nobody cares, what you mean is most people don't care, and of the
because that's not what's on the table.
Yeah. So I understand.
Nobody looks at some fucking black gangbanger and I wonder if his dad was around.
But some people do.
It doesn't matter. He's already committed the crimes.
But some people do care. As far as...
You're missing it.
No, I'm not missing it.
He is now... Who gives a fuck? His mom beat him religiously. He never had a dad. His grandpa raped him. Who gives a fuck? He's now a murderer, and he's on death row, and he's going to be put to death. Fuck him.
Okay.
Now, there are people who are going to look in and be like, how could we stop this from happening?
Right.
Who gives a fuck about what led to the horrific acts?
They would.
They don't care about it to help better help him out.
Okay. So that's what you're talking about.
That's the whole point.
So you're talking about...
Because you're like...
Okay, so again, I'm very literal. So when you say...
Nobody cares about Ted Bundy.
No, but they do.
No, they don't.
Okay, no.
Nobody cares about the image of Ted Bundy.
Okay.
No one's going to go to his fucking headstone and be like, well, if you look at it, actually, he had mother issues. Nobody gives... That's what I'm saying. Nobody cares. Okay. You're pigeon-toeing yourself.
No, I'm not pigeon-toeing. It's nobody cares about his image. That's different than no one cares about him.
Yes.
Because people care about him, the people who are doing the analysis to
That's
be like,
I'm so upset because I'm like, why are you so hung up on the profiling? This is just the identifying terms that Ted Bundy gets.
Yeah, so no one cares about his image. So his image is the concept that people aren't caring about. I'm not joking. No, like I am very, very literal. Because for the purpose of trying to seek understanding,
This is absurd.
I think
you're literal and I'm insane. And this is not
I think it was super entertaining though.
Well, no,
not at all what we were thinking about talking about, but shit, man, it works. But yeah, I'm very literal. And again, like to a fault, annoyingly so.
Maybe I need to start being more literal. But that's what I'm talking about. Nobody, even the people studying him, really don't give a shit about what, Ted Bundy. You do something terrible, that's what you get.
Yeah.
Nobody needs to know. Nobody cares. It doesn't even matter.
Well, no one cares about that. His image.
It doesn't matter what causality the act happened. Now, there are systems set up where then people will then research that and study it.
It doesn't matter to the victims whether you can determine this thing or the other, because no matter what you do,
who cares that somebody... It doesn't matter why somebody raped 5 kids. It only matters when it didn't happen.
It matters.
Somebody goes in an interview and is like, I've been actually having sexual... fantasies about being with children and I don't know how to stop them.
Yeah.
Then people might go, well, why would somebody think like that?
Or understanding the person who committed the act, so then we could...
Once a crime's been committed, you lose any
redeeming quality of trying
that person.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're talking about that person. So you can't. That person won't be able to redeem themselves after they've committed X, Y, and Z act.
So once you're a serial killer, I agree with that. You're a serial killer, and any understanding beyond that is just
not going to serve that person's image. Is more so for other.
It's not even going to serve them. I mean, it's just a morbid curiosity.
Yeah.
Well, how do they think that way? Why do they? And then I'm going to deep dive in documentaries.
Right. And see, like, I don't like doing it with serial killers and stuff like that, because then that's the kind of stuff that's like, oh man, that's going to twist my or I should say influence my ability to be as optimistic as I am. So like, and I know those people exist. I know that shit's out there, but I know it's not good for my psyche, because like, I don't know if I don't think I would like the person that I was if I allowed myself to be influenced by those things. I'm not interested in those things. I don't like those things. I couldn't even tell you the difference between Bundy and whoever the hell else. Like, I forgot Jeffrey Dahmer. I don't remember who ate people, who fucked gave. I don't know.
Dahmer was eating.
I'm not curious.
And a homosexual.
I literally don't care. I literally don't care about that aspect. But I'm willing to be like, I don't understand that, and I'm happy that there are people who exist who try to understand that. So because I think it's led to being able to apprehend people before things have happened. And so I think that's a general good.
That's why I separate the two. Okay. It's because...
and I understand now.
That's what I mean.
I understand now.
That's what I'm saying. No one cares. It's because those two are completely separate issues. One is researching the background and trying to figure out how to prevent this from happening.
Right.
The other one is just now what he's now identified as.
Right. Yeah. No, I follow. But and I'm on the side of just understanding.
And then you're like, oh, well, you can't definitively do it. I'm like, oh, but these are two completely separate things.
Oh, yeah. So we were talking past each other because we looked at things so differently.
Well, that's what I was trying to tell you. Like, no, they're separate. I'm agreeing with you.
Okay.
But kind of disagreeing with you.
No, it's fine. It is okay. Yeah.
You're right, but you're like latching that onto what I was trying to say.
Okay. And maybe I kept interrupting you where I thought you were making statements, and I was like, "Oh yeah," but
where I was saying nobody cares,
and that was just frustrating you more.
People cares. I'm like,
and you're just like, I can't fucking talk. Yeah, no, my bad. I just thought you were done. I was like, oh no, here we go again. Oh, here we go.
No, you're contradicting yourself.
You bitch, I haven't finished. Well, yeah. So the science system teachers. Topic 1. Rifle through real quickly.
That was like 2 hours.
This is so much worse than last time. We're degrading. Degressing. That's not a word. Degreasing.
No, we're degrassing.
Degrassi. Well, yeah, man. But and for the intentionality, I'm saying there's teachers. I'm sure that there's most teachers out there are doing it because they want to be a force of good in the world. They want to be a positive influence in these kids' lives, and every moment
that's
that
very
they interact,
generous of you.
I'm optimistic. Like I don't think that they're as successful as they want to be.
I would say maybe when they were going to school.
Well, I think they're acting upon it. I'm sure that a lot of people get disillusioned as they go to school, and these kids are cussing at them, and they can't get through a lesson, and then they get blamed for their grades, and it's like, all right. I get. So I'm sure they get disillusioned and all that shit, man. But I would like to believe that, again, optimistically, that a lot of, I shouldn't say most, I should say a lot of teachers want to be a positive change, and even the ones that are disillusioned, they still want to be a force of positive. They just unfortunately had enough bad encounters to not think as optimistically as they once did. Maybe not put as much effort, or maybe be more realistic with how much effort they're gonna be able to, how much they're gonna be actually able to actually influence the kids.
Also, I don't think you're taking into account cultural changes.
Well, I think the cultural changes, like we were talking about with the whole marriages, like how many teachers nowadays are married.
Well, just with social media, we're a more selfish, socially ostracizing culture.
Oh, that's a good point. Maybe a lot of the teachers don't want to really be a force of positive change. They just want people to look at them that way.
Yeah,
just like nurses. Yeah, that's a good. That might be.
It's so difficult being a nurse, but they had enough time to do TikToks while people were dying.
Yeah. That's rough, man. It's a rough
optimism.
I concede to that point, man. It's very true, man. That could be a possibility, but I'm still optimistic that a lot of people want to be a force of change. Like, disillusion. Yeah, the culture. Maybe they want to be seen as a force of change, but then they see the change and it fills them up a little bit, because I think, evolutionarily speaking, we are social creatures. So the Homo sapiens that survived were the ones that were able to conglomerate. Or to not conglomerate's the wrong word. I mean like work together. What's that word? I say conglomerate. I mean
cohabitat.
No, yeah, to live together. But what's the cooperate? Conglomerate. Cooperate. Yeah, the ones that were able to cooperate with other Homo sapiens. So by doing that, and I think that's been rooted in our DNA, and that's why people respond to social pressures, peer pressure. Oh, people are looking at me kind of pressure. How do I look in the eyes of my parents? How do I look in the eyes of my kids? Oh, I don't want my boss to see me this way. I want them to see me that way. And that way I get this promotion. I think that's a big part of who we are. Mm-hmm. And because of that, I'm optimistic about when you're in that kind of role where you're a mentor to a lot of impressionable kids, you see the impact that you have on them, then I think naturally people are like, oh wow, that was good. For whatever the reason for getting there was, I think seeing that enough times, people are like, yeah, that was cool, that was good. I want that again. I want to do that again. So I think even with the whole cultural, like the whole culture wars going on, like I think the people who are on one side or the other really think that they're trying to make a difference in the positive direction. They believe that it's the positive direction. Mm-hmm. I just don't think that they have looked at things objectively enough to be able to try to determine whether it is or not. They just rooted into their ideologies so much to the point where they're unaware of their bias and unaware of why someone might even interpret it as wrong. They must be a racist. They must be this. So that's how I feel. That's what I think what's going on with the whole DeSantis thing, especially since he's running for president.
Is he?
Or I thought he was.
I don't think.
Maybe
he's announced.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's a possibility or the fear of him doing that.
I think
then they're trying
waiting to see what goes on with Trump.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe it was just Trump that announced.
I think so. I think he's the only one that's.
Yeah, it's not bad. But yeah, I think that's what's going on with that thing. So. One issue down.
What are the other ones?
oh yeah, but hopefully I didn't stress you out that much. Black Panther and Emancipation another day. For next time, because it's a little different than what we were talking about here, so we're just gonna title it different.
It's different.
So thanks for listening.
Peace.
School's out for the summer, people cheer. School's out forever, they cheer even more. And we have a rock song. What's that, Alice Cooper saying?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, and you can picture this, tossing their notes in the air as they descend.
Done with learning forever.
And then I think to myself, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We have failed as educators to instill a sense of eternal curiosity within you so that you become a lifelong learner. You will spend many more years of your life not in school than in school. And if you're glad you're out of school, then your knowledge of the world, your wisdom, your insights have ossified in that moment. And that then becomes your forever perspective on decisions you make in life. Yet the world keeps changing. And so the failure of the educational system is you think and you believe and you feel that learning is a chore rather than a delight. And that's got to change.